Did you know that ancient Sumerian texts describe the Anunnaki as beings who genetically engineered humanity, and that their return may trigger a cosmic reset, poised to redefine civilization as we know it? The established narrative of human history is about to be rewritten, but what they don't tell you is the Anunnaki's true motives are far more complex than a simple return. To truly grasp this, we must journey back to the fertile plains of ancient Mesopotamia, where the Sumerian civilization emerged as a beacon of innovation and mystery. According to these texts, the Anunnaki, often interpreted as those who from heaven to earth came, descended from the cosmos, forever altering the course of human destiny. The Epic of Gilgamesh and the Enuma Elish, among other Sumerian writings, detail their interactions with early humans, painting a picture of beings who were both creators and rulers. These ancient narratives speak of advanced knowledge, sophisticated technologies, and a profound influence on the very fabric of human society. The prevailing narrative suggests that the Anunnaki came to Earth seeking gold, a vital resource to replenish their own atmosphere on their home planet, Nibiru. So it was said. But the question lingers, is this the full story, or are there deeper, more concealed motives at play? Are the Anunnaki returning to reclaim what they left behind? Perhaps they are driven by a cosmic agenda that transcends mere resource depletion. Perhaps the prophecies of a coming golden age or a cataclysmic event are intertwined with their return. What if the Anunnaki's return isn't about what they need from us, but about what we, as humanity, represent in the grand cosmic tapestry? While many have heard whispers of the Anunnaki, a more complex narrative remains buried beneath layers of misinterpretation. It's a narrative that challenges conventional understanding and dares to question the established historical timeline. Archaeologists and researchers have unearthed anomalies that defy explanation, suggesting a far more intricate relationship between humanity and these ancient beings than previously imagined. Zecharia Sitchin's interpretations of Sumerian texts have further fueled the debate, presenting a compelling case for the Anunnaki's extraterrestrial origins and their profound impact on human civilization. But what if even Sitchin only scratched the surface of the true Anunnaki agenda? So what if the Anunnaki are returning to reclaim what they left behind? In this video, we'll explore the evidence, prophecies, and suppressed knowledge surrounding the Anunnaki's return, revealing the truth of what their arrival will bring, and examine Sumerian texts, analyze archaeological anomalies, and discuss the implications of their arrival on human destiny. But if the Anunnaki are returning to reclaim what they left behind, what exactly did they leave, and why would they want it back? What the history books conceal is this: the Anunnaki's primary interest isn't some abstract concept of ownership, but the very real resources of Earth and the genetically modified humans they created to extract them. It all comes down to gold, but not as a mere shiny metal. It was, and perhaps still is, a vital element for their survival, intrinsically linked to solving their atmospheric problems and fueling their advanced technology. What they don't want you to know is the upcoming sections will uncover Sumerian texts and other ancient sources to reveal the truth about the Anunnaki's past, present, and future plans regarding Earth and humanity, exposing an uncomfortable truth. According to Sumerian texts, the Anunnaki's arrival on Earth was driven by a desperate need for gold. The Epic of Gilgamesh speaks of gods who toiled and suffered, yearning for relief from their labors. The Enuma Elish describes a cosmic battle that led to the creation of Earth and the subsequent arrival of these beings. As Zecharia Sitchin interpreted, these texts reveal a clear motive. The Anunnaki needed gold to repair their atmosphere on Nibiru, their home planet. These texts depict a technologically advanced race facing an existential threat. They came to Earth seeking what they needed to survive, and they were not afraid to exploit this planet and its inhabitants to achieve their goals. So Sitchin was saying. The Anunnaki, finding the task of mining gold too arduous, turned to genetic engineering to create a workforce. As the Atrahasis epic recounts, the Igigi, a lower class of Anunnaki gods, rebelled against their backbreaking labor. In response, the Anunnaki used their advanced technology to create humans, a slave race designed to mine gold. They manipulated human DNA, imbuing them with the strength and intellect needed for the task, but also limiting their potential to prevent them from becoming a threat. Enki, the Anunnaki scientist, was pivotal in this process. Enki was saying, "We crafted these beings from the clay of Earth, infused with the essence of our own DNA. We gave them the spark of intelligence, but we also placed limitations, ensuring their subservience." The Anunnaki possessed knowledge far beyond modern understanding. Sumerian texts reveal sophisticated understanding of astronomy, mathematics, and engineering. They accurately mapped the solar system, understood complex mathematical concepts, and constructed monumental structures with precision. This advanced knowledge allowed them to genetically engineer humans and establish a sophisticated mining operation. Evidence of this can be found in ancient mines across the globe, from South Africa to the Americas, suggesting a large-scale industrial enterprise that predates conventional historical accounts. The scale of these operations is mind-boggling, hinting at the Anunnaki's vast resources and technological prowess. But what was Enki's reasoning for manipulating human DNA, removing certain abilities and extending the normal human lifespan? It was to create a workforce that could serve their needs for extended periods, but one that would never rival them in power or intellect. Enki was saying, "We diminished their lifespans and removed certain potential powers so they would be a workforce and nothing more. This would ensure they would not rise against us, for they would always be dependent on us for their survival, and yet they were also made in our image." Enki was also saying, "They are made in our image, with our capabilities and our flaws." The significance of the Anunnaki's need for gold cannot be overstated. It reveals a desperate race willing to exploit an entire planet and its inhabitants for their own survival. It raises profound ethical questions about the Anunnaki's disregard for the environment and their manipulation of humanity. What are the consequences of such exploitation? What does it mean for Earth's future? While some dismiss the Sumerian texts as mere myths and legends, the consistency of the narratives and the physical evidence of ancient mining operations strongly suggests that they are based on real events. It is true that translating ancient texts is challenging, and there is potential for misinterpretations. However, the overall pattern strongly suggests that the Anunnaki were a real extraterrestrial race that profoundly influenced human history. But that's not all. Beyond their initial intervention, the Anunnaki also left behind a hidden legacy of knowledge and technology that continues to influence humanity today. What if the pyramids and other ancient structures are not just tombs or temples, but also technological devices left behind by the Anunnaki? But if the pyramids and other ancient structures are not just tombs or temples, but also technological devices left behind by the Anunnaki, what purpose did they serve, and why has this knowledge been suppressed? What the history books conceal is this: the pyramids, obelisks, and other megalithic structures were designed for advanced acoustics, used for energy generation, communication, and even manipulating the very fabric of reality. What they don't want you to know is the upcoming sections will uncover the Emerald Tablets of Thoth and other ancient sources to reveal the truth about the acoustic technologies, the reasons for their suppression, and what this all means for humanity's future. According to the Emerald Tablets of Thoth, the pyramids were more than just tombs. They were power plants and communication hubs. The precise geometry of the pyramids, their alignment with celestial bodies, and their location in relation to specific Earth energy currents were all carefully calculated to harness and amplify sound vibrations. As Thoth was saying, within the Great Pyramid lies the power from the early days. It matches the Earth's own power and stores the mind as a force. This is the key. Thoth was also saying, in the pyramid I built I freely offered my knowledge of magic, so might I, after returning from death, be with ye, O man. Theories of acoustic levitation suggest that the Anunnaki used sound to manipulate massive stones during the construction of these structures. Imagine sound waves so powerful that they could counteract gravity, allowing even the largest blocks to be moved with ease. There are no depictions of slaves building the pyramids, as most of the modern world believes. What is more, there is limited fossil evidence of a large workforce capable of building these immense structures. Some researchers propose that focused sound waves could create localized anti-gravity fields, making the stones weightless. Examples of this can be found in ancient lore, such as the stories of Tibetan monks who supposedly used sound to levitate rocks during the construction of monasteries. Not only could these acoustics manipulate construction, they also provided energy. The advanced geometries of the pyramids harnessed and amplified subtle energy fields. The pyramids served as resonators, converting Earth's natural vibrations into usable energy. Advanced geometries harnessed this energy and created a harmonious field. There is little understanding how the pyramids could generate so much energy from so little. Thoth was saying, I descended into the dark regions that my children of earth might also, by knowing, rise from the darkness that covers the soul. Thoth was also saying, build ye then the great pyramid, patterned after the mountain force. But the pyramids were also used for the storage of records. The hidden chambers within the pyramids contained advanced technologies and records of human knowledge. Within these chambers lie a vast library of scrolls, crystals, and other artifacts that contain the secrets of the universe, including advanced acoustic chambers, navigation tools, and communication devices. Thoth was saying, deep in Earth's heart lie the halls of Amenti, far beneath the islands of sunken Atlantis, halls of the dead and halls of the living, bathed in fire of the infinite. What is the significance of these acoustic technologies? What did they allow for? They could enable advanced communication, healing, or energy generation. By mastering the use of sound, the Anunnaki could communicate across vast distances, heal the sick, and generate limitless energy. They developed technology that would allow them to speak to each other across the world. With this technology, there was no need for face-to-face communication. As Thoth was saying, list ye, O man, while I tell of a secret great in its knowing, ye shall conquer the barriers of darkness, shall conquer the fear of the night. Imagine what the impact on human civilization would be if this technology was unleashed. What would that entail? Energy production and communication would be revolutionized. Transportation would become instantaneous. Disease would be eradicated. Humanity would enter a new era of enlightenment and prosperity. But many in the world are quick to dismiss the evidence by saying that the pyramids were built with primitive tools and manual labor. This comes despite the lack of evidence for large workforces and the precision of construction. Is it possible that the construction could have been completed by an advanced society? It appears as if there was little record of how the pyramids were constructed or why they were constructed. They believe the story that they were built by primitive men using primitive tools, yet they do not stop to think about how this could be possible. So, why may this knowledge have been suppressed? It allows for control of energy and prevents technological advancement. Those in power, both then and now, may have sought to suppress this knowledge to maintain their control over energy resources and prevent the masses from achieving true independence. If mankind was united with this knowledge, society as we know it would topple. This leads to a world of equality and truth. But powerful forces don't want to lead to a world of equality and truth. That is why this information is controlled. We must acknowledge that these theories are speculative. It is true that there are challenges of interpreting ancient knowledge. However, the evidence is highly suggestive and warrants further investigation. It is time to open our minds to the possibility that the pyramids and other ancient structures are far more than what we have been led to believe. But the Annunnaki's influence extends beyond physical structures. What if they also manipulated human consciousness and suppressed spiritual knowledge? Has our perception of reality been shaped to control us? And how can we unlock this knowledge to begin the return? The upcoming sections will explore the manipulation of human consciousness, the suppression of spiritual knowledge, and the techniques we can use to reclaim our true potential, fulfilling the prophecy of the return. But if the Anunnaki manipulated human consciousness and suppressed spiritual knowledge, what methods did they use, and how has our perception of reality been shaped to control us? The core of this manipulation lies in altering humans' perception of reality by using religion as a tool for control and the intentional manipulation of our sense of time. What they don't want you to know is that the key to unlocking our suppressed knowledge and ability to communicate for the return lies within the secrets of the pineal gland. The sections ahead will explore how religions shaped the perception of reality, how it suppressed our spiritual abilities, and how we can begin to awaken once again. For millennia, religions have been used as instruments of social control, shaping the beliefs and behaviors of entire populations. Ancient texts, reinterpreted and manipulated, have been used to justify social hierarchies and obedience to authority, thus suppressing individual critical thinking. The divine right of kings, the caste system in ancient India, and the concept of original sin are all examples of how religious doctrines have been used to control human behavior. The Bible was saying, "Slaves, obey your earthly masters with respect and fear, and with sincerity of heart, just as you would obey Christ." Throughout history, religious institutions have often aligned themselves with those in power, reinforcing existing social structures and suppressing dissent. Now this is the account of how these religious institutions help to control the masses and keep them subservient. Consider, too, the altered perception of time. Structured calendars, manipulated lifespans, and the effects of aging have been used to compress our perceived reality. The Anunnaki understood that by manipulating our perception of time, they could control our experiences and limit our potential. The Sumerians, who inherited much of their knowledge from the Anunnaki, developed a complex calendar system that dictated the timing of religious rituals and agricultural activities, which, in turn, dictated human behavior. What is more is that the average human lifespan has been shortened by at least half since the days of the Sumerian kings. The average king lived to be hundreds of years old, if not thousands. The pineal gland, a small endocrine gland located in the center of the brain, plays a crucial role in regulating our spiritual and cognitive abilities and communication with the higher realms. It produces melatonin, a hormone that regulates sleep-wake cycles and has antioxidant properties. It is also believed to be the seat of intuition, psychic abilities, and access to higher dimensions. But here is where a hidden manipulation occurred. The Anunnaki sought to sever humanity's connection to the multidimensional universe by controlling our collective consciousness, using religion, suppressed abilities, and manipulated timelines. Thoth was saying, "Close is the gateway to which I send ye, close to the plain which shall seal ye. Build ye the gateway on which I send ye, pass ye the barrier to which I bid ye." But what hidden processes were implemented to calcify the pineal gland and cut off communication with higher dimensions? Fluoride in the water supply, unhealthy diets, and the suppression of emotions are all contributing factors. What they don't want you to know is that fluoride, a common additive in drinking water and toothpaste, has been shown to accumulate in the pineal gland, leading to calcification and reduced function. Unhealthy diets high in processed foods and sugar contribute to inflammation and oxidative stress, further damaging the pineal gland. Thoth was saying, "Guard ye the door to the pathways. Travel ye only the path that I created. Path to the higher shall ye not travel. Too far above are ye limited." He was also saying, "Open ye not the pathway to between the plains." But what is more, negative emotions, such as fear, anger, and resentment, can create energetic blockages that further inhibit the pineal gland's function. What is the significance of this manipulation of consciousness? The significance can be found in how it limits human potential and creates a false sense of reality. When our perceptions are shaped by external forces, we lose touch with our true selves and our connection to the divine. This leads to conformity, obedience, fear-based thinking, and limited self-awareness. This is what the world is now. What is more is that many researchers agree that society is controlled by the powers that be. These powers have a vested interest in keeping us asleep. But one may ask, don't humans freely choose to believe in religion and follow social norms? This question raises the importance of subtle methods of indoctrination and psychological manipulation. The Annunaki, and those who have inherited their knowledge, understood that the most effective way to control people is not through force, but through persuasion. From an early age, we are bombarded with messages that shape our beliefs and behaviors, often without our conscious awareness. What is more, they knew how to control the way in which people thought about time, leading to lifespans that decreased with each new generation. What then are the implications of unlocking the secrets of the pineal gland? Unlocking its secrets can lead to enhanced intuition, psychic abilities, access to higher dimensions, and spiritual enlightenment. By decalcifying and activating the pineal gland, we can reconnect with our true selves and tap into our full potential. It has been said that some cultures in ancient times had individuals who could live for thousands of years due to their use of the pineal gland. These individuals were also said to possess great powers of the mind and body. They could supposedly perform feats that modern humans could not even dream of. They were revered as gods and goddesses. But that knowledge and use has been lost to humanity as time has continued. We must, however, acknowledge the uncertainties that come with attempting to prove consciousness manipulation. This endeavor requires a deep understanding of psychology, neuroscience, and ancient spiritual practices. What is more, many aspects of consciousness and spirituality remain a mystery to modern science. While there is growing evidence to support the existence of psychic abilities and higher dimensions, these phenomena are still not fully understood. As such, it is important to approach these topics with a healthy dose of skepticism and a willingness to consider alternative explanations. But the Annunnaki's influence doesn't stop at consciousness and the physical realms. What if they also created a timeline with multiple paths with pre-planned cataclysms and apexes? Is our future predetermined, or can we create our own destiny by seeing these patterns? Now, this is the account that will explore timelines, pre-planned events, and whether or not we can have an impact on the future of humanity. Given that the Anunnaki engineered timelines and pre-planned cataclysms, are these events merely random occurrences, or are they part of a deliberate cycle orchestrated for a specific purpose? The core of this manipulation lies in understanding that the Anunnaki orchestrated cycles of destruction and rebirth. Their interventions at critical junctures in human history have shaped the trajectory of our civilization. What they don't want you to know is that these events, seemingly disparate and chaotic, are, in fact, meticulously orchestrated timeline resets designed to control human evolution and maintain the Anunnaki's dominance. This section will reveal evidence from historical records, geological data, and ancient prophecies, uncovering the truth about these pre-planned events. Throughout Earth's history, recurring cataclysms have reshaped the planet, leaving behind a trail of destruction and rebirth. Historical and geological evidence suggests that these cataclysms were not random events, but rather orchestrated interventions. Ice core data reveals abrupt climate shifts coinciding with widespread extinction events. Sediment layers show evidence of massive floods and volcanic eruptions that devastated entire regions. Impact craters bear witness to the devastating effects of extraterrestrial objects colliding with Earth. According to Sumerian texts and ancient astronaut theories, these cataclysms were not merely natural disasters, but rather deliberate acts of the Anunnaki. Interpretations of the Epic of Gilgamesh, for example, describe divine interventions and catastrophic events that wiped out entire civilizations. Enki's perspective on timeline manipulation reveals a chilling motive: to stop advanced civilizations from evolving and challenging the Anunnaki's control over Earth. Enki was saying, the timelines must be wiped, lest the humans become too powerful and challenge our rule. The Younger Dryas event, a period of abrupt climate change that occurred approximately 12,900 to 11,700 years ago, serves as a specific example of a planned reset. During this period, the Earth experienced a sudden return to glacial conditions, wiping out many species and disrupting human civilizations. The prevailing theory suggests that a comet impact triggered the Younger Dryas event, but what they don't want you to know is the evidence suggests that the Anunnaki used advanced technology to trigger a global catastrophe, wiping out an advanced civilization that was becoming too powerful. This included engineering the orbit trajectory of Nibiru to cause the cataclysms to occur, and weather modification technology to amplify the effects of the environmental changes. Weather modification technology is the key. The significance of timeline manipulation and cataclysms as tools of control cannot be overstated. By inducing chaos and destruction, the Anunnaki could maintain their dominance and reshape human civilization according to their desires. Consider, for example, how the Great Flood, as described in the Bible and other ancient texts, wiped out a large portion of humanity, allowing the Anunnaki to start anew with a more subservient population. What is more, if timelines are manipulated, does humanity truly have the ability to choose its own destiny, or are we merely puppets in a cosmic game? Some might argue that these events are simply natural disasters, not interventions. However, the frequency, timing, and evidence of advanced technology surpassing natural disasters present a compelling case for Anunnaki involvement. The potential motives for these resets are numerous, including resource control, population management, and the suppression of human potential. By periodically wiping the slate clean, the Anunnaki could prevent humanity from reaching a level of advancement that would threaten their control. It is important to acknowledge the limitations and uncertainties that come with attempting to prove timeline manipulation. This endeavor requires a deep understanding of ancient history, geology, and advanced physics, making it difficult to draw definitive conclusions. But the Anunnaki's manipulation of timelines and cataclysms may be part of an even grander scheme. What if they have a final objective for humanity and Earth? What is the Anunnaki's endgame, and what role does humanity play in their ultimate plan? Now, this is the account that will explore the Anunnaki's final objective: the harvesting of human souls and energy, a plan that has been in motion for millennia. Evidence from ancient texts and prophecies hints at a final harvest or transition point for humanity. Multiple mythologies refer to an end date for resetting the timeline, indicating a cyclical pattern. The Hopi prophecies speak of a great purification that will cleanse the earth and usher in a new era. The Mayan calendars, which abruptly end in 2012, may have marked a significant transition point in human history. The Great Solar Flash is a key element for understanding the harvesting, which is what they don't want you to know. According to Enlil's perspective and plan, the end goal has always been to harvest human energy, a resource that the Anunnaki covet. Enlil was saying, the humans are but a source of energy to be harvested when the time is right. The significance of this final harvest cannot be overstated. It suggests that the Anunnaki are not merely interested in controlling humanity, but in transitioning the physical bodies of humans to soul energy for Anunnaki use. This raises profound ethical implications. It begs the question, if humanity is aware, will the soul harvest succeed? Some might argue that humanity freely chooses its own destiny, and that souls cannot be harvested without their knowing. However, the Anunnaki have employed deception and manipulation throughout history to control human behavior and suppress our spiritual abilities. This deception and the manipulation throughout their lifetime is how the Anunnaki have been able to harvest the human soul. Knowing all of this, is there anything that can be done to change the timeline? Do humans hold the power to stop the Anunnaki's plans and create their own destiny? Now, this is the account that will explore the possibility of humanity shifting the timeline. If humans know about the plans, then it no longer can work. The Emerald Tablets, a collection of ancient texts attributed to Thoth, present a message of hope and empowerment, urging humanity to take control of our destiny. By controlling time, the timeline can be altered. The science of consciousness reveals that timelines can be changed with focused intention and collective awareness. Quantum physics provides a framework for understanding how consciousness can influence reality and alter the course of events. Enki's message emphasizes that human consciousness is the key to unlocking our true potential and rewriting our destiny. Enki was saying, if humans are united in their consciousness, the timeline can be altered. The implications of humans wielding the power to take back control are far-reaching. It suggests that humanity is not merely a passive pawn in a cosmic game, but rather an active participant in shaping its own future. But to do so, humanity as a whole needs to believe and feel a new reality. The feeling must be unified so it can be believed. The Anunnaki are aware that humanity is close to discovering the solution to their control. Some might argue that this shift seems impossible, given the Anunnaki's advanced technology and control over human affairs. However, science is always evolving and anything is possible. So, what have we learned? The Anunnaki orchestrated timeline manipulations, pre-planned cataclysms, and the harvesting of human souls. Now this is the account of how the Anunnaki have been using religion, mind control, altered timelines to control humanity. But if humanity is aware of these plans, can we rewrite our destiny? The answer to this question may hold the key to unlocking our true potential and creating a new timeline for humanity. If humanity has the power to alter the timeline and stop the Anunnaki's plans, what specific actions can we take, and what are the immediate steps to initiate this shift? The core of the answer lies not in grand, sweeping gestures, but in the subtle yet potent power of collective consciousness, emotional awareness, and focused spiritual practices. We must utilize these to influence the very fabric of reality, to weave a new timeline free from manipulation and control. The key is understanding resonance and coherence, how our unified efforts can create ripples that reshape the world around us. Now, this is the account that will explore specific methods for timeline alteration, focusing on achievable actions that each of us can take, and highlighting success stories that demonstrate the power of collective intent. Scientific evidence increasingly supports the notion that collective consciousness can influence physical reality. The Global Consciousness Project, for instance, has demonstrated correlations between global events and deviations, in the output of random number generators around the world. These subtle shifts suggest that collective emotional states can indeed leave a measurable imprint on the quantum field. Furthermore, studies on the effects of focused intention on physical systems have shown that group meditation and prayer can positively impact healing outcomes and even influence the growth of plants. What they don't want you to know is that these effects, while seemingly small, are cumulative, building upon one another to create significant shifts over time. Ancient cultures seem to intuitively understand these principles, constructing acoustic chambers designed to amplify emotions, engaging in complex sonic practices to harmonize human consciousness with the earth. These hidden methods are the key. Enki was saying, the power to alter the timeline resides within the collective heart of humanity. Focus on your shared humanity. The significance of collective consciousness and emotional coherence lies in their ability to create a resonant field of positive intention. This field, amplified by focused practices like mindfulness meditation, heart-centered breathing, and gratitude exercises, can disrupt the Annunnaki's plans by drowning out negative influences and shifting the probabilities towards a more favorable outcome. Organizations like the HeartMath Institute have developed techniques to enhance emotional awareness and coherence, teaching individuals to align their heart rhythms with their thoughts and emotions, creating a state of inner harmony that radiates outwards. Consider, for example, how a group of individuals meditating on peace can reduce crime rates in a city, or how a community united in gratitude can create a more vibrant and thriving environment. But can something so simple truly counter such powerful forces? The subtle but potent effects of collective intention can have a ripple effect, drawing parallels to historical examples where small acts of resistance led to significant social change. It all comes down to focus. There are potential limitations and challenges, of course. Maintaining coherence in the face of fear and division is perhaps the greatest obstacle. The Anunnaki and their human allies constantly seek to sow discord and create chaos, knowing that a divided humanity is easier to control. Overcoming this requires continuous practice to strengthen collective consciousness, as well as a commitment to compassion, empathy, and understanding. What's more, timeline shifts are a complex and multifaceted phenomenon, and there's no guarantee that our efforts will always yield the desired results. But these practices are tools to enhance human potential and create a more positive future, regardless of external influences. It is important to remember, however, that collective consciousness and emotional coherence are not silver bullets, but rather powerful tools that can help us navigate an uncertain future with greater resilience and grace. But shifting timelines is not just about individual and collective practices. What if we can also leverage suppressed technologies to accelerate this process? Can the rediscovery and responsible use of ancient technologies help humanity create a more harmonious future? And how does this integrate with timeline shifting? Now, this is the account that will explore ancient technologies and their potential role in timeline shifting, emphasizing responsible stewardship and the need for a balanced approach. Evidence suggests that ancient technologies were far more advanced than we currently understand, possessing capabilities that extended beyond mere physical manipulation. Acoustic chambers, for instance, were not simply used for sound amplification, but rather for enhancing spiritual experiences and connecting with ancient beings that hold more clues. They achieved states of expanded consciousness through harmonic resonance, allowing them to access higher dimensions of reality. Technologies such as zero-point energy devices, scalar wave technologies, and advanced healing modalities hold immense potential for creating a more stable energy field. Consider, for example, how a zero-point energy device could provide a clean and sustainable source of power, eliminating our reliance on fossil fuels and disrupting the economic control of the Annunnaki's human allies. These ancient technologies are waiting to be rediscovered. Thoth was saying, the pyramids are not merely tombs, but rather powerhouses designed to raise human consciousness and prepare humanity for the great shifts to come. The significance of these technologies lies in their ability to amplify intention, create stable energy fields, and heal the planet. These can be instrumental in shifting timelines, creating a more harmonious reality, and breaking free from the Annunnaki's control. Access to infinite energy removes control from oil and resources and unlocks humanity's true potential. But here's what most people miss. These technologies were not simply lost, they were deliberately suppressed, hidden from humanity to maintain control. The abuse of power from the same technologies is why they were suppressed, but if harnessed for good, then this will usher in a new golden age for humanity. The potential limitations of these technologies lie in humans' tendency for misuse, which is the main reason they were suppressed. Now, it is important to acknowledge that understanding these technologies requires a deep understanding of ancient texts and the capacity to rebuild them. But even with the power of collective consciousness and advanced technologies, what role do the Anunnaki actually play in humanity's next steps? Do the Anunnaki still have final plans, and will they be able to execute them, or will humanity take control? Now, this is the account that will explore the Anunnaki's plans and their ability to manipulate, and then what humans can do to take back control of their destiny. Evidence suggests that the Anunnaki possess technology far beyond our current comprehension, including the ability to manipulate weather and Earth with Nibiru, and alter timelines through subtle energy manipulations. Their control extends to the very fabric of reality, but their window of power is limited, closing with the coming great solar flash. The shift must happen before then. The key that they don't want you to know is they know it is coming. Enki's message emphasizes a shared destiny, stating that humans must stay on a loving path and the Anunnaki are willing to work with humans. Enki was saying, the harvest timeline is not set in stone. A choice exists. Choose love and we will walk together into a new era. The choice is the great key. So what do we as humans need to do? Hold the proper vibrations. Stay on the loving path. Enki's message is clear. Here's the twist. The new timeline can look like new energy systems, space travel, and human unity. What they don't want you to know is the new timeline is already here. It is only waiting to be manifest. But is this all too good to be true? Is this what we should want? What if the pursuit of such advancements leads to unforeseen consequences? The potential issues arise if humans stay separated and divided, creating chaos and preventing the emergence of a harmonious timeline. Overcoming this requires a commitment to unity, collaboration, and a shared vision for the future. The harvest is still possible. So after analyzing the power of collective consciousness and timeline shifts, what can humanity do? The plan from both sides, Anunnaki and humans, is to be united. All of the accumulated evidence points to the central idea that we are more powerful together. But can humans do it? The answer to this question is on each person to believe that it can be done. It is on each human to stay united and to focus on the loving path that will make it a reality. The choice is ours, and the time to choose is now. Even with humanity's potential to shape timelines and the Anunnaki's evolving role, what are the specific, tangible preparations humans should undertake to navigate the coming shift, ensuring survival and a positive future? The core of this answer lies not only in abstract spiritual concepts, but in the practical steps of community building, resource independence, and knowledge preservation. It's about creating arcs, both physical and informational, that can weather the storm and ensure the survival of humanity's collective wisdom. What if readiness and resilience are not just about surviving, but about thriving? This section will delve into tangible steps humans can take to prepare, survive, and thrive during the coming shift, empowering them to shape a positive future. History offers countless examples of communities coming together during disasters. The aftermath of the 1906 San Francisco earthquake saw neighbors sharing resources, rescuing survivors, and rebuilding their shattered city. And in 2011, following the devastating tsunami in Japan, communities organized themselves to provide food, shelter, and medical assistance to those in need. But did you know that the common thread is always cooperation? Resource independence is another cornerstone of preparedness. Permaculture gardening allows individuals and communities to grow their own food, reducing dependence on fragile supply chains. Solar panels provide a clean and sustainable source of energy, while rainwater harvesting ensures access to potable water, even during droughts. Ancient cultures stored their grains for years as they prepared for drought seasons. Preserving knowledge and skills is equally crucial. The Library of Alexandria, though tragically lost, stands as a testament to the importance of safeguarding humanity's intellectual heritage. Creating physical and digital libraries, passing down traditional practices, and documenting essential skills ensures that knowledge survives, even if civilization crumbles. Enki was saying, empower yourselves, build your communities, secure your resources, and preserve your knowledge. This is how you will flourish, regardless of what comes. The significance of community building lies in its ability to create social and economic resilience. A network of skills and resources allows people to help each other when the system breaks down. Imagine a community where one person knows how to build a shelter, another knows how to grow food, and another possesses medical skills. This collective knowledge creates a safety net that is far stronger than any individual can provide alone. But here's what most people miss. Resource independence can buffer the effects of systemic collapse. Reducing dependence on fragile supply chains and promoting sustainable living ensures that communities can meet their basic needs, even if the outside world is in chaos. Ancient records show how the Mayans left behind a system of water storage for future generations. Now, it is important to acknowledge the counterargument that these preparations are alarmist and unnecessary. Is this future guaranteed? While the future is uncertain, building resilience and empowering humanity to navigate whatever challenges may arise is a worthwhile endeavor. But beyond the physical and practical preparations, what if the most crucial element is understanding the Annunnaki's long-term strategy and identifying their key players on Earth today? Who are the individuals and groups perpetuating the Anunnaki agenda, and how can humanity recognize and counteract their influence? This section will explore potential Anunnaki influences on Earth today, identifying key figures and groups who may be unwitting or knowing agents, and will provide insights into their tactics and strategies. This is what they do not want you to know. Theories abound about secret societies, ruling elites, and governments involved with the Anunnaki agenda. Some researchers point to the Bilderberg Group, the Trilateral Commission, and other organizations as potential conduits of Anunnaki influence, citing their control over global finance, politics, and media. But that is not all. Many believe that bloodlines have stayed in power for millennia, linking back to the Anunnaki. Ruling monarchies, dynasties, and powerful families are said to carry the genetic legacy of the Anunnaki, perpetuating their agenda through generations. What they don't want you to know is the Anunnaki's plan to maintain control. Enki shared with his bloodline a way to subvert the harvest, ensuring their continued dominance. Now, there is secret knowledge that exists to break free from their control. Ancient teachings, technologies, and spiritual practices offer a path to liberation, empowering individuals to transcend the limitations imposed by the Anunnaki. The significance of identifying the key players lies in the ability to disrupt their control and reveal their plans. By exposing their tactics and strategies, humanity can weaken their influence and create space for a more positive future. What if this disrupts the Anunnaki timeline? Analyzing the tactics used by these groups, such as manipulation, secrecy, and control of resources, provides insights into their methods and allows individuals to develop effective countermeasures. One key example are propaganda campaigns throughout the ages. There is, of course, the counterargument that these theories are unfounded and conspiratorial. While it is important to approach these claims with critical thinking and discernment, there are undeniable patterns of power and control that cannot be ignored. Limitations and challenges require critical thinking, research, and a commitment to truth. It is also important to acknowledge the uncertainties of the future. Staying grounded in reality is key. But even knowing the Anunnaki's plans and identifying their agents, what if the key to truly overcoming their influence lies in a deeper understanding of our origins and reclaiming our divine heritage? How can humanity reclaim its forgotten history, unlock its full potential, and ascend to a higher state of consciousness, thus rendering the Anunnaki's control obsolete? This section will delve into a path to self-discovery and spiritual awakening, exploring ancient wisdom, spiritual practices, and the potential for humanity to transcend its current limitations. The twist is that it is all within. Historical and spiritual information offers a glimpse into humanity's true potential, reconnecting with the ancient gods, not as external deities but as aspects of our own being, unlocks dormant powers and abilities. Sonic practices, meditation, healthy living, and other transformative techniques are the key. The twist is that humans are the gods. Humanity is capable of anything, transcending limitations. The Anunnaki shared a path to ascend to new levels of being, offering a final message of hope and empowerment. Enki was saying, "Remember who you are. You are divine beings capable of anything. Unlock your potential and reclaim your heritage." The significance of these practices lies in their ability to shift timelines and create a more positive future. By raising individual consciousness, humanity can collectively shift the probabilities towards a more harmonious reality. What if we change our dimension? Analyzing the effect on society, we see that collective shifts can change anything. A mass awakening of consciousness can transform the world, creating a golden age of peace, prosperity, and spiritual enlightenment. Here's the catch. Can this really shift our reality? There are potential limitations. Humans are currently stuck on the third dimension. It is also important to acknowledge if it is possible. Anything is possible. Believe in yourself. So, the journey to navigate the coming shift involves tangible preparations, understanding the Anunnaki's strategy, and reclaiming our divine heritage. By building resilient communities, uncovering hidden influences, and unlocking our spiritual potential, humanity can actively create a new timeline. The twist is that we all have power. But what if the most powerful force in shaping this future is our ability to believe in a better tomorrow? The answer to this question lies in each of us, and our capacity to envision and manifest a world where humanity thrives, united and free. But we're just scratching the surface. What we'll discover next is even more shocking, and it will reveal the truth about the Anunnaki's return. Given humanity's potential and the external influences, what are the specific scenarios of the Anunnaki's return, and how will these scenarios impact the average human's life? The core of this exploration rests on framing the Anunnaki's return around tangible, relatable events. The key is to understand the scenarios that could unfold with the Anunnaki's influence. This will reveal the specific and sometimes drastic impacts for the average human. Let us narrow our focus to two primary scenarios: a benevolent coexistence and a resource-driven conflict. It is crucial to emphasize that these two scenarios are not mutually exclusive and could intertwine in unpredictable ways. What if the Annunnaki's return manifests differently based on humanity's collective consciousness and preparedness? What if our future is contingent on our thoughts? This exploration will detail these return scenarios, examining the evidence, implications, and potential responses for each. Consider a scenario where the Annunnaki's return heralds a benevolent coexistence, drawing upon Enki's messages of shared destiny and the potential for a golden age of technological and spiritual advancement. Ancient texts can be used to co-create with the ancient ones. In this future, clean energy systems, advanced medical treatments, and unprecedented space exploration become readily available. Imagine a world where disease is eradicated, poverty is a distant memory, and humanity ventures into the cosmos, guided by the wisdom of the Anunnaki. But what must humanity do to reap these rewards? A global unity founded upon love and compassion, and an unwavering commitment to sustainable living are the required conditions. Enki was saying, the time is now to choose wisely. Coexistence with us will lead to a new energy for you all. Secret texts reveal the potential for new energy. Imagine zero-point energy, devices that draw power from the very fabric of spacetime, scalar wave technologies that can heal the body and mind, and advanced healing modalities that harness the body's innate ability to regenerate. What could be more shocking than discovering the ancient source code for healing? This aligns with ancient promises. The significance of this benevolent coexistence lies in its potential for human evolution and the resolution of global challenges. A future where disease, poverty, and environmental destruction are relics of the past, replaced by a world of abundance, harmony, and endless possibilities. What if this reality is already written into our destiny? Factors that could lead to this outcome include the widespread adoption of conscious practices, responsible use of technology, and a rejection of divisive ideologies. But here is the counterargument. This scenario seems naive and unrealistic, given the Annunnaki's history of manipulation and control. Were these the actions of the Anunnaki, or the interpretations of humans at the time? Perhaps the Anunnaki themselves are evolving and may have learned from past mistakes. Furthermore, what if the constant bombardment of fear-based media, the allure of power and greed, and the difficulty of overcoming deeply ingrained patterns prevent this? The limitations and challenges of maintaining unity and focus are significant. It's important to acknowledge the uncertainties. The future is not predetermined. The power of intention and action in shaping a positive outcome is more real than you know. Now, consider another scenario, a resource-driven conflict. The potential consequences are dire. Drawing upon ancient texts that describe the Anunnaki's insatiable need for gold, imagine a renewed competition over Earth's resources. Environmental destruction, social unrest, and a further widening of the gap between the powerful and the powerless are the potential consequences. Envision a world where corporations strip the earth bare in their relentless pursuit of profit, where social unrest erupts as people fight for dwindling resources, and where a privileged elite live in opulent luxury while the masses struggle to survive. Global division, unbridled greed, and a blatant disregard for the well-being of the planet and its inhabitants could lead to such a negative outcome. Enlil was saying, I am willing to harvest souls to secure the resources we require. Humanity's fate is secondary to our survival. What if this is already in motion? Secret texts reveal the potential for resource exploitation. A new age of resource exploitation, fueled by advanced technologies and a ruthless pursuit of profit. Imagine vast swaths of land ravaged by mining operations, oceans polluted by industrial waste, and the atmosphere choked by greenhouse gases. What if this is not the future, but the present? This confirms ancient warnings. The significance of a resource-driven conflict cannot be overstated. It would mean the potential for widespread suffering and the erosion of human rights and freedoms. A future where resources are scarce, the environment is ravaged, and a small elite controls the vast majority of wealth and power. What if the erosion of human rights is already happening? Factors that could lead to this outcome include unchecked corporate power, the pursuit of short-term profits at the expense of long-term sustainability, and a failure to address systemic inequalities. But here's the counterargument. This scenario seems overly pessimistic and ignores the potential for human ingenuity and cooperation. Is there no hope for change? It is crucial to acknowledge the power of vested interests to resist change and perpetuate harmful practices, and the importance of remaining vigilant in the face of potential threats. Overcoming the forces of greed and division, and creating a more just and sustainable world requires strength. It is critical to acknowledge the uncertainties. The future is not predetermined, and we have the power to choose a different path, a path that prioritizes the well-being of all and the preservation of the planet. It is up to each and every one of you. Given these contrasting scenarios and the potential for both positive and negative outcomes, what specific steps can individuals and communities take to proactively shape the future and increase the likelihood of a benevolent coexistence? How can we foster a global shift in consciousness, promote sustainable practices, and create a more equitable and just world, ensuring that humanity is prepared for whatever the future holds? Be prepared for concrete steps you can take. So, exploring potential Annunaki return scenarios reveals two distinct paths, a benevolent coexistence and a resource-driven conflict. What will come of this is up to us. Now, let us connect these elements to the importance of conscious action, sustainable practices, and global unity in shaping a more positive future. The choice between these futures lies in the hands of humanity. Which path will we choose, and what world will we create? Remember, the answer to this question may determine the fate of humanity and the future of our planet. What we'll discover next is something that could decide the fate of the human race. Given the potential scenarios of the Annunaki return, are their motives solely based on resource acquisition and control, or does a larger cosmic agenda drive their actions? And how will humanity's choices align or conflict with this plan? The core of this question rests on exploring whether the Annunaki are fulfilling a preordained cosmic plan, and if humanity even plays a role. What if their return is not just about gold or power, but about fulfilling a grand, predetermined design woven into the fabric of the universe? Consider the possibility of the Annunaki acting as instruments of cosmic law, tasked with guiding or testing humanity's evolution. Perhaps their actions are not driven by malice or greed, but by a sense of duty to a higher power or a cosmic imperative. This section will explore this cosmic agenda, examining evidence from various sources, reinterpreting ancient texts, and analyzing the implications of such a plan for humanity. Are we mere pawns in a cosmic game? Or do we possess the agency to shape our own destiny? Presenting evidence from ancient texts and prophecies that hint at a larger cosmic plan. The Sumerian tablets, for instance, speak of the Annunaki as servants of Anu, the supreme deity, carrying out his divine will. While interpretations vary, could it be that their actions on Earth were part of a larger cosmic drama, a test or trial for humanity? And what would be the potential benefits of such a plan? Advanced energy systems that power entire civilizations, space travel technologies that allow us to explore the cosmos, and perhaps even the unification of humanity under a single banner of peace and understanding. These could all be potential outcomes of this cosmic agenda. But what are the conditions for this? A gentle return. Enki once said, "Humans must be responsible with what they find." Humans, it is a requirement, or devastation shall follow. Secret texts reveal the potential for advanced energy systems. Imagine zero-point energy devices that draw power from the vacuum of space, providing limitless clean energy for all. Envision scalar wave technologies that can heal the body and mind, restoring balance and harmony to our inner selves. All of this, however, relies on human intent. What if they were to be created for war? The significance of a cosmic agenda lies in its potential to redefine our understanding of human existence. A future where humanity transcends its limitations and achieves its full potential, guided by the wisdom and knowledge of the Annunaki. Can the timeline be changed? This depends on our ability to rise to the occasion. Factors that could lead to this outcome include a global awakening of consciousness, a commitment to ethical and sustainable practices, and a rejection of the divisive forces that plague our world. But here's the counterargument. This all seems far-fetched and fantastical. Science says it's not real. Is it possible that the accepted scientific paradigm is incomplete, that we are only scratching the surface of understanding the true nature of reality? After all, science is always changing, constantly evolving as new discoveries are made. However, it's important to note the limitations and challenges. What if the Anunnaki return with the intention to harvest souls, to exploit human energy for their own purposes? Maintaining unity and focus in the face of such a threat would be a monumental task. The constant bombardment of fear-based media, the allure of power and greed, and the difficulty of overcoming deeply ingrained patterns all pose significant obstacles. Despite these challenges, it's crucial to acknowledge the uncertainties. The future is not predetermined. Our will, our intention, and our actions have the power to shape the course of events. Knowing all of this, what role will humanity play in the coming age? Do the humans hold the power to stop the plans and create a new destiny? This new destiny lies in how time is used. What if we could collectively change what is coming? This section provides a roadmap to what will happen, presenting emerald tablets and the message within them. Thoth was saying, "When man has dominion over time, the return shall begin." The message focuses on the power of human consciousness to shape reality, to bend time itself to our will. But is this speaking literally? It would appear so. Now consider the science of timelines and how to change them. Quantum physics suggests that reality is not fixed, but rather a fluid and malleable tapestry of possibilities. The act of observation collapses the wave function, solidifying one particular timeline out of an infinite array of potential futures. But is it that simple? Enki was saying, "Humans, you are more powerful than you know. Your thoughts, your emotions, your intentions, these are the building blocks of reality." This message underscores the immense potential that lies dormant within each and every one of us. It speaks to the power of collective consciousness, the ability of humanity to unite in purpose and create a new and better world. Human beings are therefore a power. But what if we don't know how to focus it? The human consciousness is the key to unlocking our true potential. The feeling must be unified. When humanity unites in a single, coherent intention, we can create a ripple effect that reverberates throughout the cosmos. Powers will yield to control. The Anunnaki know the solution, and they are watching to see if we will discover it ourselves. But here's the counter-argument. It seems impossible to shift timelines. Is humanity too fragmented, too divided to achieve the necessary level of coherence? Even with powers, is there anything that can be done to change timelines? The potential lies within the location of the machine. What is the machine? This section will find the machine, presenting information of the machine. The connection to the sonic powers of the universe. What if the key to unlocking our timeline lay hidden within ancient structures, within the very stones that have stood for millennia? Ancient structures, like the pyramids and obelisks, demonstrate advanced acoustics technology suppressed after the Great Flood, which could provide a communication network with the Anunnaki. The machine to alter our timeline involves sound. Humans can tap into the sonic powers through meditation, chanting, and focused intention. We can harmonize our frequencies with the Earth's natural rhythms, creating a resonance that amplifies our collective consciousness. Imagine a world where ancient knowledge and modern technology converge, where science and spirituality unite, and where humanity stands on the threshold of a new era of enlightenment. This will be our action. But how can we all do this? How to evolve our beings and tap into the machine? By cultivating inner peace, practicing compassion, and aligning our actions with the highest good, we can become conduits for positive change. We are the new timeline, but we must act. The plan is to unite. Imagine a world where every human being is empowered to shape their own destiny, where love and harmony prevail, and where humanity collectively ascends to a new level of consciousness. Will this become reality? But here's the final question. Is this too good to be true? Is this a new manipulation? The potential for deception and control is ever present. It is crucial to maintain a healthy skepticism, to question everything, and to trust our own intuition. Are we truly in control, or are we being led down a predetermined path? We must always remember that the power to choose our own destiny lies within ourselves. We have our fate in our hands. So, exploring the power of a cosmic agenda and timeline shifts, will humanity unite? The plan from all is to unite together, staying together. But can humanity? Each has the choice. What we'll uncover next is something that will test the very soul of humanity. Now that we know the power to unite and shift timelines lies within humanity, what is the machine of the gods, and how can we activate it to create our desired reality? The core of this machine is not a physical device, a collection of wires and circuits, but rather a network of interconnected consciousness, a web of human minds resonating in harmony. But how does this interconnected consciousness work, and what allows us to use it for shifting? It all comes down to human resonance, the capacity of individuals to synchronize their thoughts, emotions, and intentions, creating a powerful, unified field. This section will explore how this machine works, delving into the evidence that supports the existence of interconnected consciousness. We will explore the crucial role of the heart center, examining the power of sonic practices, uncovering first-hand accounts from Enki, and investigating the sacred spots on Earth that amplify this resonance, as well as learn how we as humans can harness the latent powers we each possess to shift timelines. Presenting evidence that supports the existence of interconnected consciousness, one cannot overlook the Global Consciousness Project. This ongoing scientific endeavor has been monitoring the collective consciousness of humanity since 1998, using a network of random number generators, RNGs, distributed around the world. What the project has found is startling. During times of major global events, such as the 9/11 attacks or the death of Princess Diana, the RNGs exhibit statistically significant deviations from randomness. This suggests that collective human emotions can indeed influence the physical world. Could this be evidence of our ability to shape our surroundings? But that is not the only piece of evidence. The importance of activating the heart center cannot be overstated. The HeartMath Institute has conducted extensive research on the physiological and energetic properties of the heart, discovering that it is not merely a pump, but a powerful information processing center. The heart generates the largest electromagnetic field in the body, a field that can be measured several feet away. When we experience positive emotions such as love, gratitude, and compassion, the heart's electromagnetic field becomes more coherent, creating a ripple effect that can influence others around us. The power, therefore, lies within the heart. Furthermore, sonic practices hold significant importance. Binaural beats, for example, are auditory illusions created when two different tones are presented to each ear simultaneously. The brain perceives a third tone, the difference between the two frequencies, which can entrain brainwave activity and induce various states of consciousness. Studies have shown that binaural beats can reduce anxiety, improve focus, and enhance creativity. The sounds, therefore, are a powerful tool. Enki once said, "My children, humanity, I want you to flourish. I want to see you use your inherent abilities to create a world of peace and harmony. Tap into your heart centers, align your intentions, and resonate with the earth and each other." This message underscores the importance of unity and connection, both within ourselves and with the world around us. This is his plan for humanity. Sacred spots on Earth, such as ley lines, also play a crucial role in amplifying human resonance. Ley lines are alignments of geographical features, such as ancient monuments, megalithic sites, and natural landmarks, that are believed to carry subtle energies. Some researchers propose that these ley lines act as conduits for Earth's electromagnetic field, creating vortexes of energy that can enhance human consciousness. But is there any science behind this? The significance of tapping into human consciousness is that it recognizes the fundamental interconnectedness of all beings. We are not isolated individuals, but rather cells in a larger organism, each contributing to the collective whole. When we awaken to this reality, we realize that our thoughts, emotions, and actions have a ripple effect, influencing not only our own lives but also the lives of others and the fate of the planet. The connection is all. Analyzing the factors that can influence this and how you can make this shift, it is important to note that coherence is a key element. When our thoughts, emotions, and actions are aligned, we become more coherent, emitting a stronger and more resonant field. This coherence can be cultivated through practices such as meditation, mindfulness, and conscious breathing. In addition, our environment plays a crucial role. Surrounding ourselves with beauty, nature, and positive influences can amplify our resonance, while exposure to negativity, stress, and discord can diminish it. The counterargument is that this concept is not easy to fathom. Science is just beginning to explore the mysteries of consciousness and interconnectedness, and many people remain skeptical of these ideas. But the fact that something is not yet fully understood does not mean that it is not real. After all, science is always changing, constantly evolving as new discoveries are made. What if we already have the power within us? Addressing the challenges as well as the limitations, it is important to acknowledge that tapping into human consciousness requires work. It is not a passive process, but rather an active and ongoing commitment. It requires us to cultivate self-awareness, to heal our emotional wounds, and to align our actions with our highest intentions. In addition, there are limitations to what we can achieve individually. While we can influence our own lives and the lives of those around us, we cannot single-handedly change the world. But can we do it collectively? But even if we are all connected, what specific role do our emotions play to connect to the machine? How can we use our emotions to connect to the machine and create a positive timeline? The answer lies in understanding that emotions are not merely subjective feelings, but powerful energetic forces that shape our reality. This section will explore the importance of positive emotions, the science behind them, first-hand accounts from Enki, and the hidden messages within ancient powers. Presenting emotions and their importance, it is crucial to recognize the power of positive emotions such as love, joy, gratitude, and compassion. These emotions are not simply pleasant feelings, but potent catalysts for transformation. They can heal our bodies, open our hearts, and amplify our creative potential. Furthermore, positive emotions are contagious, spreading from person to person and creating a ripple effect of positivity. But what about negativity? Describing the science behind it, it is important to note that emotions are key to shifting. When we experience positive emotions, our brains release a cascade of neurochemicals, such as dopamine, serotonin, and oxytocin, which enhance our well-being and strengthen our connections with others. Positive emotions also activate the vagus nerve, a major nerve that connects the brain to the heart and other organs, promoting relaxation, reducing stress, and boosting the immune system. It is all interconnected. Enki speaks, "Humans, you must find peace within yourselves. You must cultivate love and compassion in your hearts, for it is through these emotions that you will unlock your true potential and create a world of harmony." This message underscores the importance of inner work and emotional healing. We must each take responsibility for our own emotional states, cultivating positive emotions and releasing negative ones. Ancient powers and their hidden messages reveal the power of happiness and gratitude. The ancient Egyptians, for example, revered the goddess Mad, who represented truth, justice, and cosmic order. They believed that living in accordance with Mad required cultivating virtues such as honesty, compassion, and gratitude. Similarly, the ancient Greeks celebrated the concept of eudaimonia, which translates to flourishing or living well. They believed that true happiness was not simply pleasure, but rather a state of fulfillment that came from living a virtuous and meaningful life. The key is to be positive. Explaining the importance of the proper emotions, it is important to recognize that human connection is essential. When we connect with others in a genuine and authentic way, we create a sense of belonging and support. This connection can amplify our positive emotions and help us to cope with stress and adversity. It is all connected. Analyzing how it helps timeline shifts, it is crucial to understand that the emotions change everything. When we shift our emotional state, we shift our reality. By cultivating positive emotions, we attract positive experiences and create a more harmonious timeline. This is not merely wishful thinking, but a powerful force that shapes our world. Change your thoughts, change your life. Addressing the counterargument, it might be hard to harness these powers. The emotions may be hard to harness, and it may take time. However, that comes with practice. With consistent effort, we can learn to master our emotions and use them to create a more positive and fulfilling life. Is this something that we can all agree on? Even with the connection of emotions, what are the overall galactic implications for humanity? Will humanity ascend to new levels of existence? And what is our role in the Great Plan? This section will explore ancient texts, describe how humans can evolve, discuss what we need to do, and examine whether or not we will evolve to the next levels. Presenting ancient texts, it is vital to understand the galactic change. Ancient texts from various cultures speak of a coming age of enlightenment, a time when humanity will awaken to its true potential and ascend to new levels of consciousness. The Mayan calendar, for example, predicted a shift in consciousness that would occur around the year 2012. While some interpreted this as the end of the world, others saw it as the beginning of a new era of human evolution. What if it's both the end and beginning? Describing how can evolve, it is vital to look at new levels. As we evolve, we gain access to new levels of awareness, new abilities, and new possibilities. We begin to see the world through a different lens, recognizing the interconnectedness of all things and the power of our thoughts and emotions. We also develop a deeper sense of purpose and a stronger desire to contribute to the greater good. Humans can reach new levels. Humans can evolve. How far can we go? The potential for human evolution is limitless. We have the capacity to develop psychic abilities, to heal ourselves and others, to communicate telepathically, and to travel interdimensionally. We can also create new technologies that will enhance our lives and help us to solve the world's problems. However, it all begins within us. Discussing what we need to do for this galactic shift, it is crucial to unite. To achieve this galactic shift, we must first heal ourselves, releasing our emotional wounds and aligning our actions with our highest intentions. We must also cultivate positive emotions such as love, compassion, and gratitude, recognizing that these emotions are the building blocks of a better world. The decision, however, is ours. explaining our role, it is important to realize that we are the key. We are the key to unlocking our own potential and creating a better future for humanity. We have the power to choose love over fear, unity over division, and peace over war. It is our choices that will determine the fate of the planet. Analyzing what it means, it comes down to unity. Unity in this context means more than just agreeing on a set of beliefs or policies. It means recognizing our shared humanity, respecting our differences, and working together to create a world where everyone can thrive. It means transcending our egos and aligning ourselves with the greater good. Addressing the shift, will the masses be ready? The question remains, will the masses be ready for this shift? Will they embrace love and compassion, or will they cling to fear and division? The answer is not predetermined. It depends on our choices, our actions, and our willingness to step into our power. After exploring the human resonance and emotions, what will we choose? Exploring the powers that we can wield, will we unite as humans? Reiterating the question, what world will we choose? The powers are ours. What will come next is even more shocking. Since humanity is the machine of the gods, what happens when we finally connect those inner circuits, building that long-lost heaven on earth the ancients spoke of, and the veil that has clouded our perceptions finally lifts? The lifting of this veil will reveal a multidimensional existence to humans, a reality that has been just beyond our grasp. But what they don't want you to know is that humanity has always been multidimensional, capable of so much more than we currently believe. The very key to this shift, to unlocking our potential, lies within our DNA, that intricate blueprint hidden within each and every cell. What if the timeline shift hinges on activating this potential? This is the journey upon which we now embark, an exploration of multidimensionality, the hidden powers of our DNA, and how it all connects to the coming timeline shift. Now, let us delve into the compelling evidence that all humans are inherently multidimensional beings. Quantum physics, that ever-expanding field of science, increasingly suggests the existence of multiple dimensions beyond our everyday perception. String theory, for example, posits that the universe is composed of tiny, vibrating strings existing in 10 or more dimensions. While these dimensions may be imperceptible to our normal senses, their influence is felt throughout the cosmos, shaping the very fabric of reality. Did you know that humans can tap into these dimensions? Moreover, consider the structure of our DNA. While mainstream science often focuses on the double helix and the genes that encode our physical traits, esoteric traditions speak of 12 strands of DNA, with some strands remaining dormant, switched off by forces unknown. This untapped potential, this junk DNA as it is sometimes called, could be the very key to unlocking our multidimensional abilities. But here's the question. What if these inactive strands are not junk at all, but rather access points to other dimensions? And how does this connect to the timeline shift we have been discussing? As we raise our vibrations, as we awaken to our true potential, we begin to activate these dormant strands of DNA. Enki was saying, our DNA is the key. It connects us to the multiverse. Our very genetic structure links us to the higher dimensions. Ancient cultures, those civilizations steeped in mystery and wisdom, knew of this connection. The ancient Egyptians, for example, with their intricate understanding of symbolism and the cosmos, revered the human form as a microcosm of the universe, a vessel capable of accessing higher realms. Their pyramids and temples, aligned with celestial events and resonant frequencies, were designed to facilitate this very process. How can we tap into our multidimensionality? The significance of all of this to humanity is profound. Our perception of reality is about to undergo a radical transformation. What was once considered science fiction is rapidly becoming science fact. And once we accept this, once we truly grasp the unlimited potential that lies dormant within us, our world will never be the same. But this begs the question, what if this sounds like science fiction? Granted, the idea of humans as multidimensional beings may seem far-fetched to some, a concept more at home in the pages of a science fiction novel than in the annals of scientific inquiry. However, science is ever-expanding, constantly pushing the boundaries of what we believe is possible. What was once considered impossible is now commonplace. And what challenges will arise when humans truly discover their multidimensionality? What challenges and potential pitfalls might we face as we awaken to our true potential? Embracing this new reality will not be easy. Many will deny it, clinging to the familiar comforts of their limited perceptions. But the truth, like a rising tide, cannot be held back forever. Acknowledge that multidimensionality is complicated, with ever-expanding information. The path to understanding multidimensionality is complex, a labyrinthine journey through the realms of quantum physics, esoteric traditions, and personal experience. But it is a journey worth undertaking, for it holds the key to unlocking our true potential and creating a brighter future for humanity. Knowing that humans will evolve, what is the blueprint that is the key to unlocking our dormant DNA? And how can we use cymatics, light, sound, and color therapy to activate our full potential? By exploring these modalities, can we unlock the secrets of our dormant DNA, shift timelines, and elevate human consciousness? This is the promise that lies before us. Hidden within the very fabric of reality are secrets just waiting to be discovered. Did you know that cymatics, the study of visible sound and vibration, offers a powerful key to altering molecular structure? When sound frequencies are passed through a medium, such as water or sand, they create intricate geometric patterns, beautiful and complex designs that reveal the hidden order of the universe. Specific geometric patterns can affect our bodies. What if cymatics can be used to unlock human potential? Humans will soon see the power of sound to heal, transform, and awaken. Mantras, those ancient sounds used in meditation and spiritual practices, are known to have a profound effect on the mind and body. Certain frequencies, such as the solfeggio frequencies, are said to have healing properties, capable of clearing blockages, promoting emotional balance, and activating higher states of consciousness. Sounds such as this are a new form of modality for the new Earth. Furthermore, there are keys to light and how it affects molecular structure. What if ancient information holds the answers? Light, that fundamental aspect of existence, plays a crucial role in our physical and spiritual well-being. Different colors of light have different frequencies and wavelengths, each with its unique effect on our bodies and minds. Color therapy, a practice that has been used for centuries, utilizes the power of color to heal, balance, and energize. What secrets do these ancient cultures know about light? Explain the impact of the evolution and how fast the evolution is happening. Evolution is not a linear process, a slow and gradual progression over vast stretches of time. Rather, it is a series of quantum leaps, sudden bursts of innovation and transformation that propel us forward. And now, at this critical juncture in human history, we stand on the precipice of another such leap, a rapid acceleration of consciousness that will change everything. Analyze to the point of new modalities and that the new Earth is here. The emergence of these new modalities, these tools for self-discovery and transformation, is a sign that the new Earth is already here, a reality that is being co-created by those who are willing to embrace their true potential. We can either choose to take the next step or be left behind. Addressing our doubts, anything is possible, but remember, it takes consistent practice. It is true that embracing these concepts may feel daunting. Doubt, fear, and skepticism may creep in, whispering insidious lies in our ears. However, it is important to remember that anything is possible, that the only limitations are those we impose upon ourselves. The true potential is within ourselves. Although cymatics, light, sound, and color are key to understanding DNA, does our very life force itself play a role? And how is Kai? vril, and the life force important in the evolution to New Earth? Does all this come back to the energy that connects us? It is essential to understand the importance of life force in the evolution to the New Earth. Energy must be aligned for a timeline shift. Present information on life force and how the life force must be in harmony. The life force, that vital energy that animates all living beings, is known by many names. Kai in Chinese tradition, Kai in Japanese, vril in esoteric circles. Whatever we call it, this energy is the very essence of our being, the source of our vitality, creativity, and spiritual power. If it is not in harmony, a shift will not occur. Describe ways to connect through chakra alignment and the powers we can weld by harmonized centers. To connect with our life force, to harness its power and unlock its potential, we must first bring our energy centers, our chakras, into alignment. These spinning vortexes of energy, located along the spine, act as conduits for the flow of life force throughout our bodies. When these centers are balanced and harmonized, we experience a sense of well-being, vitality, and connection. But how does this all work? Humans will ascend through the means of light using ancient teachings. In the ancient teachings, we can become more powerful. The path to ascension, to the evolution of human consciousness, lies in embracing our life force, in aligning our energy centers, and in opening ourselves to the flow of divine energy that permeates all of creation. How can we tap into the ascension? Explain how they are needed to activate the DNA with new strands. These energies are needed to activate the dormant strands of our DNA, to awaken the hidden potential that lies within us. As we align our life force, new strands of DNA begin to activate, unlocking abilities and perceptions that were once beyond our comprehension. The powers that we gain will be something else. Analyze the new abilities that come with the activations, such as telekinesis. As our DNA is activated, we gain new abilities that were once thought to be fairy tales. The powers that we can gain are telekinesis, telepathy, and premonitions. What is going to stop humans when the powers are unlocked? Addressing how this concept is far-fetched, remember, science is ever expanding. If all this seems far-fetched, remember that science is ever expanding. The very concept of a life force, once relegated to the realm of superstition, is now being explored by scientists through the lens of bioelectromagnetism and subtle energy research. As we continue to explore the mysteries of consciousness and the universe, we may find that the ancient wisdom traditions were right all along. We have now explored the evolution of our beings and what makes that happen, so what choice will we make? What will humanity choose to do with its newfound abilities? In order for a major shift to happen, we must act accordingly. Reiterate the question, what power will we choose? That will be up for us to decide. But here's a deeper question. What happens when the Annunaki return and find humanity wielding powers they thought only gods could possess? Now that we have explored the activation of the machine, what are the specific frequencies and sounds capable of unlocking dormant DNA and connecting humanity to its multidimensional self? And how can we use these frequencies to override the Annunnaki's control signals? The core of this understanding lies in specific frequencies, such as 432 Hz and the solfeggio frequencies, as well as the application of binaural beats. But here's what they don't want you to know. The Anunnaki themselves used specific frequencies to manipulate human DNA, essentially waging a war of frequency against humanity. Therefore, this exploration will provide practical guidance on how to use frequencies to counteract these signals. Evidence suggests that 432 Hz resonates with the very fabric of our planet. This frequency is said to be in harmony with the Schumann resonance, the Earth's electromagnetic frequency. Many studies and anecdotal accounts suggest that music tuned to 432 Hz has positive effects on the human mind and body, promoting relaxation, reducing anxiety, and enhancing creativity. Consider, for example, how this frequency aligns with natural ratios and proportions found throughout the cosmos, echoing the very blueprint of creation. Moreover, the solfeggio frequencies, an ancient scale of 6 tones, each with a specific healing property, have been traditionally associated with transformation and spiritual awakening. Take, for example, the frequency of 528 Hz, often referred to as the DNA repair frequency. It is believed to have the power to heal and restore damaged DNA, promoting overall well-being. Or consider 396 Hz, believed to liberate guilt and fear. Beyond this, binaural beats created by playing 2 slightly different frequencies in each ear can entrain brain waves to specific states of consciousness. Alpha waves for relaxation, theta waves for meditation, all become more easily accessible. Then, Enki was saying, we use dissonant frequencies to create chaos. These lower vibrations kept humans in a state of fear, making them easier to control. The path to undoing this manipulation lies in embracing harmonious frequencies, those that resonate with love, compassion, and unity. Seek out music and soundscapes that elevate your vibration, and you will begin to dismantle the Annunnaki's control grid. To put this into practice, listen to ambient music or guided meditations incorporating these frequencies, immersing yourself in a sonic landscape of healing and empowerment. This is significant because these frequencies enhance DNA activation, promote healing, and connect us to higher states of consciousness. By creating a resonant field of harmonious frequencies, humanity can override the dissonant frequencies used to manipulate them, disrupting negative thought patterns and promoting positive emotions. While some might argue that these claims seem far-fetched, it is important to consider the subtle but measurable effects of sound on the body and mind. However, maintaining consistent exposure to these frequencies in a world saturated with electromagnetic pollution and dissonant sounds presents a challenge. Mindful listening and discernment are therefore essential. Sonic frequencies are not a magic bullet, but a powerful tool to enhance human potential and promote well-being. But even with the right frequencies, what if humanity is still being held back by limiting beliefs and suppressed emotions? How can we identify and release these limiting beliefs and suppressed emotions, creating a clear pathway for DNA activation and timeline shifting? The unlocking of our full potential may only be achieved when we integrate our shadow. Here lies the importance of shadow work, the exploration of the unconscious aspects of the self. It acknowledges that we all have hidden aspects of ourselves, both positive and negative, that we have repressed or denied. By bringing these aspects into conscious awareness, we can integrate them into our personality, becoming more whole and authentic. Inner child healing, a related practice, focuses on addressing childhood trauma and unmet needs. By connecting with our inner child, we can heal emotional wounds, release limiting beliefs, and reclaim our innate joy and creativity. Further, methods to release emotions, such as meditation and dance, allow us to process and release pent-up feelings, freeing us from the grip of past experiences. This is what they hid to control the masses. Then, Enki speaks once more. The key to shifting timelines lies in loving yourselves unconditionally. You must embrace all aspects of your being, including your shadow. By accepting your imperfections, you free yourselves from the shackles of judgment and self-doubt. Only then can you truly step into your power and create the reality you desire. But here's what they don't want you to know. Secret societies throughout history knew the power of suppressed emotions and used subliminal messages to control the masses. This is significant because clearing emotional blockages allows for DNA activation and opens the door to timeline shifting. When we heal our inner wounds and release limiting beliefs, we create space for new possibilities to emerge. The power lies within ourselves, as self-help empowers us to free ourselves from control. While some may find these tasks challenging, remember that it gets easier with practice. Knowing all of that, what role does our location play in the shift? Are there spots on Earth that are more important than others, places that amplify the effects of these frequencies and inner work? Earth itself has locations that are vortexes of energy. These locations correspond with the ley lines of the Earth energetic pathways that crisscross the globe. These points are important because they possess higher energy, which means a higher connection to the cosmos. Did you know the human body is affected by these locations and increased powers? The body becomes more attuned to higher frequencies, enhancing intuition, creativity, and spiritual awareness. What they don't want you knowing is these locations were created by ancient beings to help with the shift. Places such as the pyramids are key to understanding. This is significant because these locations provide easier connections to the higher dimensions, making timeline shifting more accessible. The machine comes online at certain points. While some may be unable to travel to these locations, know that intentions are what truly matter. Connecting with these places in your mind's eye can still have a profound effect. After exploring the world and the power that we have, what will we do? Humanity has the ability to shift timelines, but the question remains, what choice will we make? How will you wield this newfound power? That will be up for us to decide. But here is a deeper question. If we can access the knowledge and power, is it possible the Annunaki are already here? Thinking Content Part 13 with the sounds in place. What happens when individuals choose to truly connect to the higher power? Will that change the timelines? It's a question that echoes through the corridors of time, a whisper carried on the winds of forgotten ages. What will happen is that powers will become easier to come online. Did you know that Earth can shift if it is what humans decide to do? It's a hidden truth, a potential waiting to be unleashed. Today, we preview an exploration into individuals who were able to master this, showcasing the extraordinary capabilities dormant within humanity. Ancient Sumerian and Egyptian tablets speak of the power of humans to control sound, to shape reality with their very voices. These tablets describe intricate sound chambers, carefully constructed in specific locations to harness and amplify energy. Consider, for instance, the dimensions of these chambers, locations chosen for their unique energy, aligned with ley lines and celestial events. The tablets go on to explain how these connections relate to timeline shifts. The higher the frequency, the higher the dimension that can be accessed. The emerald tablets speak of Thoth and the power to master sound. He was able to use these chambers to gain immortality. Then, Enki shares more wisdom, saying, "The machine will come online when enough humans resonate with the frequencies of love and compassion." It is not a physical machine, but a network of human hearts, each a transmitter and receiver of divine energy. But what they don't want you to know is that musical composition and tone can help further the process. Chanting ancient mantras, for example, can align the individual with the resonant frequency of the earth, amplifying their connection to the higher dimensions. Did you know certain mantras vibrate at the speed of light? The significance of the coming of this timeline shift cannot be overstated. We all will have powers, abilities that have been dormant for millennia. Our powers will grow exponentially as we tap into the collective consciousness. What they don't want you to know is that this has not been done before on such a large scale. While some may scoff at the notion, proclaiming that there is no way this is going to work, remember that anything is possible when humanity unites with a common purpose. However, there are limitations and challenges that must be addressed. What does it truly take to be at peace? Even with the sounds in place and the ability to connect to the higher power, how can we stay on this path? How do we stay on the timeline shift so that our world can go into the golden age that is here for us? It's a question that demands action, a call for humanity to rise to its potential. Specifically, the key to staying on this timeline is to come online by knowing what to focus on, to stay focused on this path. The power of Earth itself is crucial in maintaining this connection. Vortexes are all over the planet, points of concentrated energy that act as gateways to other dimensions. These vortexes feed into sound chambers. They are interconnected. Dimensions that help connect are sound chambers, constructed in these vortex locations. Establishing what it takes to keep it going is simple: believe and act. Belief without action is but a dream. Action without belief is chaos. Then Enki's wisdom echoes through the ages. Balance is the key. Stay grounded in the physical world while reaching for the stars. Do not let your ego cloud your judgment, nor your fears paralyze your actions. He continues to say, it takes discipline, strength, and self-mastery to make it happen. The importance of staying focused on our goals cannot be overstated. Do not let anything distract you from your purpose. To stay focused, analyze what it takes to be present, to keep our minds in check. It requires constant vigilance, a conscious effort to quiet the noise of the outside world and tune into the inner voice of intuition. While some may argue that there is no way this works, that the distractions are too great, remember that there is always room to grow, always an opportunity to strengthen your resolve. Despite all of this, how do we focus and believe when the world has been manipulated from these elites, and they don't want that to happen? Is it true that humans don't have powers and everything has been altered to think we don't? Can't we control, can we? What they don't want you to know is that the elites play a significant role in suppressing human potential, the dark forces at play. The elites have always been a part of our life, different groups taking power over time. They have taken power by controlling finances, manipulating governments, and suppressing knowledge. What they don't want you to know is these groups have been around for millennia. But here's the twist. Ancient societies share more wisdom than the elites are capable of suppressing. They show that there is nothing that they can do to stop the timeline shift, nothing they can do to stop the awakening of humanity. Explain it so we believe it by showing the patterns, the recurring cycles of manipulation and control. While some may feel powerless in the face of such overwhelming forces, remember that there is always something we can do. Analyze, is there anything we can do? How is that possible? What they don't want you to know is that it starts with our belief in our own power. The darkness is all that there is, unless we choose to ignite the light within. Now that we have explored how powerful humans are and what we can do, what is the next goal? Humanity has the ability to shift timelines, our choice. To do this, humanity must first be aware of it. What they don't want you to know is the first step is always awareness. Awareness precedes action. How can we change the world? The answer lies within each of us. Now is our turn to step into our power, to reclaim our destiny, and to create the golden age that awaits us. But we're just scratching the surface. What we'll discover next is even more shocking. If the battle between dark and light is indeed here, where lies the safe location for our next shift, and what profound changes will it bring? What they don't want you to know is that Earth itself holds the answer, a sanctuary amidst the storm, provided humanity aligns with its purpose. But what does it all truly mean for humanity, and can we truly harness this power in time? Are there really places on Earth untouched by the impending chaos, havens of peace and stability? Is it all too late? Today, we explore this vital question and discover that the fate of humanity rests in our hands, that it's up to us to decide. Ancient texts speak of the Earth's cyclical nature, a rhythm of destruction and renewal that has shaped our planet for millennia. What they don't want you to know is there is a cycle on Earth that creates a balance. Ancient civilizations understood this cycle. They prepared for the shifts. Civilizations building underground cities and pyramids to withstand the cataclysms. These structures were strategically placed in areas least affected by these shifts, safe havens designed to protect humanity. Consider the Andes Mountains, the Himalayas, and the depths of the Amazon rainforest. These areas will help shape the timeline. It's as if the Earth itself is shifting to shield humanity, creating a pocket of calm amidst the storm. This shift will aid and protect the humans that vibrate at the specific frequency. What they don't want you to know is that safe shifts are here for everyone. Enki shares wisdom passed down through generations, saying, "The true sanctuary lies not in physical locations but in the inner shift of consciousness. Find the peace within, and you shall be safe wherever you are." However, it requires more than wishful thinking. Ancient knowledge reveals these locations are not merely geographical but energetic. These locations are portals and vortexes. What they don't want you to know is where to be is more about where your soul is. The key lies in aligning oneself with the Earth's natural frequencies, resonating with the planet's life force. The significance of identifying and understanding these safe locations cannot be overstated. In the times ahead, the right location will keep us all protected. What they don't want you to know is that what is outside of us doesn't matter. Analyzing our timeline of the shift requires understanding that it is not a single event, but a series of interconnected shifts. It is also not a shift that may be coming soon. There are always changes happening. However, there are limitations and challenges that must be addressed. What if some people don't have a location to go to? Moreover, there is the daunting reality that not all these locations may be accessible. What they don't want you to know is some locations are inaccessible. They may be guarded, hidden, or simply too remote for most people to reach. Although the safe locations are key, is there enough time for humanity to all align for it? The truth is a race against time, a desperate scramble to awaken humanity before the window of opportunity closes. Is it all too late? What they don't want you to know is we must unite in time. We're going to dive deeper to connect the dots. Ancient texts reveal that previous civilizations understood the importance of collective action. What they don't want you to know is what we are missing is an understanding of true collective power. They work together to align their energies, creating powerful vortexes of positive energy. These vortexes help them navigate the shifts, minimizing the impact of the cataclysms. Ancient Egyptians, for example, built temples along ley lines to amplify Earth's energy, creating a network of interconnected power points. The Egyptians used ancient chambers that are still a mystery today. These civilizations aligned their locations by using sound and light. Sound and light are power sources that can change timelines. What they don't want you to know is what we are looking for is within them. Their goals were to shift their timelines by aligning their intentions, focusing on love, compassion, and unity. This collective focus created a ripple effect, influencing the very fabric of reality. Enki has shown that what our next steps can be is to follow the steps of the people that came before us. Enki was saying, "You must remember that you are not alone. The earth is with you and so are we, but you must take the first step. You must choose to unite, to heal, and to create a better world for all." What they don't want you to know is that doing that is following his knowledge to make this happen. However, we may already be late to start and act. What they don't want you to know is that there is potential to be ready. The dark forces have been working tirelessly to divide humanity, creating chaos and confusion. This division weakens our collective energy, making us more vulnerable to negative influences. The good news is, the potential to be ready exists if we make the right decisions. Knowing all of this about the Earth and our timelines, can we even do it? Is this even possible? Is there any realistic chance of humanity uniting in time to avert disaster? Is humanity strong enough to push towards this goal, or are we doomed to repeat the mistakes of the past? What they don't want you to know is if we even have the potential, and the power of Earth and our timelines all come together. The Earth itself is a powerful ally. What they don't want you to know is that Earth is aiding humanity to become ready. The Earth is ready to shift into a higher dimension, and it is waiting for humanity to join it. This shift will bring unprecedented changes, ushering in an era of peace, prosperity, and enlightenment. Humanity's timelines, if united, are capable of reaching extraordinary heights. What they don't want you to know is there are higher dimensions that await us. We are capable of creating a world beyond our wildest dreams, a world where love reigns supreme and all beings live in harmony. The key lies in recognizing our collective potential and working together to achieve this vision. What we can do now is take steps to come online. What they don't want you to know is the steps that can make this happen. Connect with your higher self, meditate, spend time in nature, practice gratitude, spread love and compassion. These actions, however small they may seem, create a ripple effect, influencing the collective consciousness and paving the way for the shift. Enki said, "My home awaits, ready to connect and work. Your destiny awaits for you." The importance of what humans can do cannot be overstated. What they don't want you to know is that we are the shift, that we are the change. We hold the key to our future, and it is up to us to unlock our potential. Analyzing the power that Earth possesses reveals that it is a benevolent force, ready to support us on our journey. What they don't want you to know is that Earth can provide, but we need to put work. However, it may not be real, it may all just be a fantasy. After diving deep on what Earth can do, and if there is time, the final question will be, will we do it? What they don't want you to know is that it is up to us to decide. The Earth shift depends on humans uniting and taking steps now. What they don't want you to know is that humans are the only one who can shift, that it is our destiny. Will we allow this to happen to make a change? What they don't want you to know is if the world will change. There is one choice. What they don't want you to know is that choice depends on us to decide, but we're just scratching the surface. What we'll discover next is even more shocking. Now that we are in a safe spot, how do we connect it all to shift our timelines and to make an impact for everyone? What they don't want you to know is that it is not just about being in a safe location. It is about what that location provides for humanity's shift in consciousness. Earth vortexes and power locations serve as the keys to unlock this potential, the instruments of our collective ascension. However, what they don't want you to know is that not everyone is here with us in this understanding. Not everyone has grasped the potential of this moment. This section will focus on how these timelines are converging, the specific power of these locations, and the profound shift that is possible for the world if we seize this opportunity. We will discuss how we can now help others ascend alongside us. Earth, in its vastness, possesses a unique capacity to provide something new from each of its continents, a symphony of energies waiting to be conducted. What they don't want you to know is that each continent holds a specific resonance. South America vibrates with ancient wisdom, Africa pulsates with raw life force, Asia whispers secrets of enlightenment, and North America hums with the power of innovation. To tap into this global symphony, we must connect with the Earth and with our minds, using intention and focus to amplify the planet's natural energies. Imagine yourself standing at the foot of Mount Shasta, feeling the Earth's energy surge through your being. Picture yourself meditating in the heart of the Amazon, merging your consciousness with the rainforest's ancient wisdom. The connection to the Earth in our minds will shift us, helping us connect with those in higher timelines, opening pathways to unprecedented levels of awareness. This power will help our minds move to a higher state, shifting us from a state of survival to a state of creation. What they don't want you to know is that we must shift to make a difference for the world, as there is much more to come in these higher dimensions. Then Enki speaks. The time of awakening is upon you. The Earth is ready, and so are we. But you must choose to embrace this shift, to harness your inner power and to become the architects of your destiny. Everything will come to power at the exact right moment. But what is the significance of all of this? What can these locations, this connection, this shift, do to truly empower us? What they don't want you to know is that it will help connect us more deeply with the planet, allowing us to receive guidance and wisdom from the earth itself. It will activate dormant potentials within our DNA, unlocking psychic abilities, heightened intuition, and enhanced creativity. Our bodies need to shift to accommodate these changes, becoming vessels of light and consciousness. What they don't want you to know is that we are evolving. However, some may argue that this shift is not real, that it is merely wishful thinking or a fanciful delusion. Yet, as Enki said, anything is possible if we open ourselves to the potential, if we embrace the unknown with courage and faith. Despite this potential, there are limitations and challenges that people face. What they don't want you to know is the challenges that humans face. The limitations may include fear, doubt, and resistance to change. These are the obstacles that we must overcome, the dragons that we must slay, to fully embrace our potential and create a new world. What will come if these timelines all come together and we move forward? What potential awaits humanity if we collectively embrace this shift? When we all shift, will we connect to make something new, something greater than ourselves? What they don't want you to know is the powers that we will hold, the higher mindsets that will come online. The truth is, we have new powers to control our destiny. These powers will come online as we raise our vibration, as we align ourselves with the Earth's natural energies, and as we connect with our higher selves. What they don't want you to know is what we will all be capable of, the dormant abilities that will awaken within us. We will be able to manifest our desires with ease, to heal ourselves and others, to communicate telepathically, and to travel through time and space. But what can we even do with it all? What they don't want you to know is it will lead to new connections to others, greater empathy, compassion, and understanding. We will be able to create a world where peace reigns supreme, where love is the guiding principle, and where all beings live in harmony. We must also talk about the powers of our light and what they can truly do. What they don't want you to know is that our bodies must evolve. Enki is saying that our minds will be the key to unlocking these powers, to harnessing the energy of the earth, and to creating a new reality for ourselves and for the world. He was saying, if you follow this path, if you embrace your potential, you can change not only your life but the entire world. However, we need the right alignment to see us connect, to unlock these dormant powers, to create this new reality. To do so, we must align our thoughts, emotions, and actions with our highest intentions, focusing on love, compassion, and service to others. We also need to be open to new ideas, to challenge our assumptions, and to embrace the unknown with curiosity and courage. What they don't want you to know is that humans will be open to new ideas if we make it happen. What if the shift may not happen at all? What they don't want you to know is that we should all be more open. We must continue to persevere, to strive for enlightenment, and to never give up on our dreams. Despite all of this potential, there are limitations and challenges, obstacles that we must overcome, dragons that we must slay. However, what they don't want you to know is that we have new abilities, new technologies, and new allies that can help us on our journey. Despite knowing this path, what is it that can distract us? What are the forces that seek to keep us from embracing our potential and creating a new world? How can we be more ready for the final shift, for the great test that awaits us? What could happen if we don't, if we allow ourselves to be distracted or misled? What they don't want you to know is that we must shift our mind. What they don't want you to know is what happens if we can connect with the world, if we can tap into the power of our abilities. The powers of our abilities are needed to shift, to change, and to evolve. What they don't want you to know is what happens with the connection, how it creates a timeline split, a divergence between those who embrace the shift and those who resist it. Those who embrace the shift will ascend to higher dimensions, experiencing unprecedented levels of awareness, creativity, and love. Those who resist the shift will remain trapped in the old paradigm, experiencing increasing levels of chaos, conflict, and suffering. What they don't want you to know is what powers we have to weld to shift, and that we must stay focused on our goals, refusing to be swayed by fear, doubt, or negativity. Humanity should come out on top, but what they don't want you to know is if we are ready, if we have the strength, the courage, and the wisdom to embrace the shift and create a new world. Enki has imparted much knowledge, but what they don't want you to know is that we must learn and get balanced. What is needed to come out on top? The power of our alignment is to take conscious action, to unite with others, and to create a powerful vortex of positive energy that will transform the world. But can we keep the powers under control? What they don't want you to know is that we may be overwhelmed, that we may struggle to manage the intensity of the new energies, the flood of new information, and the overwhelming sense of responsibility. Despite this potential, it may be all for naught, that we might not get a final shift at all. What they don't want you to know is that we must keep working, keep striving, keep learning, keep growing, and keep evolving. With all of this knowledge, what can we do with this great shift that comes together? What can we create? What can we manifest? And what kind of world can we build? What they don't want you to know is that it is up to humanity, and that it depends on our collective will, our collective vision, and our collective action. We must connect to make a big change to our world, to heal the earth, to restore balance to the dimensions. How do we act now? What they don't want you to know is when we shift the timelines, how we change the future. That will depend on each of us and to take action to do it. What they don't want you to know is the great choice, the decision that we must make, to embrace the shift and create a new world, or to resist it and remain trapped in the old paradigm. But we're just scratching the surface. What awaits us next is an even deeper dive into the suppressed technologies and hidden agendas that have shaped our past and will determine our future. With the power of timeline shifts, what will be our Earth's original plan, and how can we all connect to it to fully receive our powers for ascension? What they don't want you to know is that the world has a plan, a blueprint etched in the very fabric of existence, and humanity holds the key to unlocking it. The original intention was one of harmony, a symphony of consciousness resonating with the divine. This section will delve into that forgotten blueprint, the ancient wisdom that speaks of our inherent potential, and how we can activate it to usher in a new era of power and enlightenment. What if we were all meant to be gods? Ancient civilizations across the globe whisper of a time when Earth existed in a state of perfect equilibrium. The indigenous tribes of the Amazon speak of a golden age, where humans lived in harmony with nature, possessing extraordinary abilities and a deep connection to the spirit world. Similarly, the ancient Vedic texts of India describe a Satya Yuga, an era of truth and righteousness, where humanity was aligned with cosmic law. What they don't want you to know is that these narratives aren't mere myths. They are echoes of a forgotten reality, remnants of a time when humanity was fully aware of its divine potential. Ancient tablets, unearthed from the sands of Sumer, detail our ancestors' breathtaking abilities, gifts that have been suppressed and forgotten over millennia. They tell of humans who could communicate telepathically, heal with their minds, and even manipulate the very fabric of reality. According to these texts, the original intention for humanity and Earth was to create a paradise, a haven of love, creativity, and boundless potential. The dimensions that would have led us to this better future are real, they just need power. This is the power Enki wanted to bestow, his goal being that all should have everything. But what if it was taken away? What they don't want you to know is that scattered across the globe, in forgotten temples and hidden caves, lie ancient areas holding great keys to what is to come. Places like the Great Pyramid of Giza, the Nazca Lines of Peru, and the mysterious stone circles of Stonehenge are not merely relics of the past. They are power centers, designed to amplify human consciousness and facilitate our connection to higher dimensions. Now Enki speaks. The Earth held powers before the fall. That has continued to this day, that we can move to a better state. What if we can move back to that state? What they don't want you to know is that we can connect to power once again. Now, what is the significance of human power and what does it do for the shift? What they don't want you to know is that human consciousness is the catalyst for timeline shifts. The power of our collective intention, our shared dreams, and our unwavering belief in a better future can literally rewrite the very fabric of reality. The ancient seers understood this, and they encoded this knowledge in their temples, their rituals, and their art. The human body plays a vital role in this shift. What they don't want you to know is that our physical form is not merely a vessel, but a sophisticated instrument capable of holding and transmitting vast amounts of energy. Our dimensions, our chakras, our DNA all are intricately designed to interact with the cosmic forces and facilitate our ascension. Some may argue that this is just about power, but it is about something greater. What they don't want you to know is that we need to balance our minds and hearts. Without aligning our minds with compassion and our hearts with wisdom, power can become a destructive force. Despite the immense potential, there are limitations and challenges that people will face. Power can be overwhelming. What they don't want you to know is that without proper guidance and training, it can lead to arrogance, misuse, and ultimately self-destruction. The path to enlightenment is not a sprint but a marathon, requiring patience, perseverance, and unwavering commitment. The world is so big, how can we possibly make a dent? What they don't want you to know is that humans can, and we are everything we can be. What if there was more to come? Now that we have gone through the blueprint and the body, how can we follow our true selves and not be distracted by the world? What they don't want you to know is that we can do something greater. What can we all do to shift and make sure this follows, and we get our earth and humanity to connect to everything? What they don't want you to know is that we need to balance everything, every power to be had. We must stay on point and true to shift and move the bodies and dimension. What they don't want you to know is that everything is here for us. The history of the tablets is not just about the words inscribed upon them, but about the power they hold. What they don't want you to know is that these tablets contain plans to focus on everything, to unlock our full potential and create a world of harmony and abundance. Our true dimensions are not limited to the physical realm. We have the capacity to traverse the astral planes, communicate with higher beings, and access knowledge from the Akashic records. What they don't want you to know is that we have so much to weld. Despite the attempts to suppress our knowledge, everything is not lost. What they don't want you to know is that the timelines for humanity are still open, and we have the power to choose our destiny. Ancient wisdom guides us to continue. What they don't want you to know is that we can make sure that humanity is focused. The key to shifting lies in connecting the heart, mind, body, and soul. What they don't want you to know is the power to connect. When these four elements are aligned, we become a force of nature, capable of manifesting our desires and transforming the world around us. The power of timelines is immense, and we must learn to shift with it. What they don't want you to know is that the timeline connections are here, waiting to be activated. What if the change may not occur? What they don't want you to know is that staying focused is always a path, and the earth has plans for us, even if we can't see them yet. Even with the knowledge of what is happening with our powers, how do we implement that into everyday life? What they don't want you to know is that our daily life needs to come online with that. How can we truly connect with everything to see new powers? What they don't want you to know is that everything needs to come together, that shift needs to come on for you. This section will focus on how to implement this knowledge into our lives. Steps on being great will be seen here. The power of implementation is immense, and it can transform our lives in profound ways. Ancient tablets speak highly of the great day when humanity will awaken to its full potential and create a new world of harmony and abundance. What they don't want you to know is what is implemented. What happens to our energy is that it comes to the surface. What they don't want you to know is that everything comes to the surface for us to be better. Ancient texts speak of higher beings, beings of light and wisdom who are waiting to guide us on our journey. What they don't want you to know is that you can move to a higher being with alignment and understanding. The true human is here. It has always been that one. What they don't want you to know is that you have to be that one. Will humanity step up? What they don't want you to know is that humans will take on great heights. The path to enlightenment is not easy, but it is worth it. Can we balance to connect? What they don't want you to know is that heart and mind connections are coming in line. Can we get there? What they don't want you to know is that we have a shot to get there. The steps we take every day can lead us to greatness. As a new person is made, a new world can come online. Since the world is ending and we are all changing, what is the true goal? Why are we here? Let's connect all of our wisdom and take those steps to a new life. What they don't want you to know is that everything is connected, the past, the present, and the future. Is it time to follow everything? Does our body and timelines work? What they don't want you to know is it is up to us to decide. That depends on you and those around you and how we weld it to make the right change. What they don't want you to know is that we decide where we go now, but we are just scratching the surface. What awaits us is how to see these new dimensions. What powers will come online as the world shifts? Now that we understand the original blueprint, what actions can we take to align with Earth's intended timeline and fully embody our divine potential, becoming the creators we were meant to be? What they don't want you to know is that humanity holds the power to change the timeline, not through grand gestures, but through concrete, everyday actions. The shift is not a passive event, but an active participation in reshaping reality. This section unveils the practical changes needed to fully embody our roles, switching our connection to the true power of Earth. A new Earth is waiting to be born. The key to this shift lies in the interconnectedness of heart, mind, and body, a trinity of energy that resonates with Earth's own vibrational frequency. Ancient civilizations, like the Egyptians and the Mayans, understood this intricate dance, building their temples and structuring their societies around this energetic alignment. They built on sacred sites across the planet to harness the planet's energy grid to create great technology and spiritual enlightenment. What they don't want you to know is that these areas, from the vortexes of Sedona to the mystical depths of Lake Titicaca, are keys to unlocking new connections, acting as portals for the divine energy. But this power requires unity. Humanity must come together, recognizing our shared destiny and working in harmony, or all will be for naught. So Enki was saying, the great controllers are you. What was shared is never ever late. The time for humanity is now. But what exactly are these steps, and what can we all do to shift and make sure this follows, so we get our Earth and humanity to connect to everything? What they don't want you to know is that the human steps are of the utmost importance. To what is happening and where we can connect is what is truly needed. Now is the time to connect to all the timelines. Earth provides the power to do so. Those who cannot shift, whether by choice or circumstance, will still be guided and cared for we will come together to figure out all plans. We will hold the light. So, what specific traits can we start taking for humanity and follow into great beings? What they don't want you to know is that the key to this shift lies within the unique qualities that define humanity. What can these traits mean for the shift that we are about to take, and how will it affect our planet and world? What they don't want you to know is the proper tracks for humanity are open now. Specifically, we can become human and follow the great humanity that the Earth created. What is the power of human creation and what actions are needed to fully unlock its potential? What they don't want you to know is the full extent of the ability to connect with one another and with the planet. We can all connect. Our new action steps are, above all, to be great and to be pure. The traits needed to connect and become one is with our hearts and minds. The great human goal is to be one with Earth. Power is on the line. We are the connections. But what is the significance of these new powers, and what does this mean for our future on this planet? What they don't want you to know is that the significance of these new powers of connecting and being great and pure is a timeline shift to a higher power. Our Earth is what provides it all. However, what if this does not happen? What they don't want you to know is that staying aligned with the Earth can keep us aligned. What we are to find is coming with an open heart. It is our destiny. So how do we keep the negativity from our planet, and what role do we play in maintaining a positive timeline? What they don't want you to know is how powerful negativity can be. Are we always going to stay connected? Is our planet really ready? What they don't want you to know is if this truly is our calling. If our heart is pure, we can see the power within the Earth. We can harness it. What specific actions are needed to ensure these connections endure? What they don't want you to know is the enduring power of these connections. The pure plans are there. Humanity follows what's great. The planet will be ready when humans take the next steps. To be with plans and to always stay, we must be ready to accept the path. The heart comes into play. The intentions make it all happen. But what is the importance of these plans, and why must we stay connected? What they don't want you to know is that the journey is the destination. To connect to the plans and to stay connected is the journey. Is this all a big change? Can we accept? What they don't want you to know is that everything depends on what steps we take next. The answer to if anything can truly be real lies in the power of our intention. With a new power that must come, that we come and lead, we can bring so much great power into being. Humanity must always be with plans to follow along to lead. We have gone through many steps to know what this shift may hold, and what is our intention to make it more. Our hearts must be here so that we always believe we must accept love. Does this mean that our dimensions must collide with what all has to follow? What they don't want you to know is that change must take over. What awaits us is to explore the coming cataclysms. What will happen to our dimensions? Having understood the original blueprint, what does it mean for each of us? And do we even decide if the world truly needs what we plan to shift to with all of these new dimensions? What they don't want you to know is that this question extends to humanity, particularly the new actions that we were supposed to obtain in order to connect to the divine. Narrowing the focus, it's important to realize that not everyone can shift or even desires to, and some, specifically those in power, can shift more easily. But what does that mean for humanity as a whole? It means our higher power needs to know what we are capable of, because we come from this world for more than we can ever imagine. There is a reason why it's all there, waiting to be tapped. Now consider that there are humans in different areas who do not accept the shift. If you don't accept, then how will you all be ready? What they don't want you to know is that it's a challenge. The blueprints dictate that the world is meant to come together, and our role is to show this power what we've got. However, is there something out there that does not want this to happen? It's an ancient war, some say. So Enki was saying, what must always follow is what these humans are meant to believe. Each step that is meant to come has never ever been this tall. The time for humanity is now. Is there truly a connection to make this shift work? And is our world destined to do something that it is not true to? What they don't want you to know is that there are levels to meet higher standards. Do our people need to come together to work on what has to happen with all that means? As a world, we must connect. Is everything to ever align, or must the shift truly be aligned for it all to start and finish? What is the means of what's to come? It is essential to acknowledge that there has never been this much power for humans and what they must obtain for the next shift. The higher dimensions hold the key to what has yet to come to light. If we were all to do this new shift and accept our next power, what can we all expect when the newness is here? What they don't want you to know is that the world is ready to shift to a new planet and a new life. What can the next steps truly mean for all of Earth? A higher connection. How can we make this shift work and truly focus on the light that we can all find and see? It's about making something new, something powerful. What if there are going to be new wisdoms that we must implement to make our next journey? What they don't want you to know is that new things that were never here are about to emerge. How is our path meant for us, and what's to follow? How is this meant for us? Is our connection here and what's meant to be here? Have our beings been connecting and truly want to make a difference? Humans must come out to this goal to what must implement, and we must have total acceptance. So Enki was saying, how these humans that are coming together will change the next power and future for our new world. Hearts, minds, and bodies are changing. The universe has our back. What is the significance of this work, and does this make power? What they don't want you to know is that is for us. Is this for us, and is that something that has to be wielded with what this truly means? There are earth dimensions and timelines at stake. What does this look like on all humans? What is our new role? What does it truly mean to connect with all that's to come? That power has to be true and pure. What do our heart, minds, and bodies have to say? Are we a new role model to newcomers? Our path is being written. Even if we implement that, is every single Earth person destined to shift? What they don't want you to know is that this leads us to timeline questions. Can we all truly be one with this all, and do these people have the power? One will come. What does it look like for our journey if every person may not shift? The journey has it all, the highs and the lows, the ebbs and the flows. What does history say? What they don't want you to know is that new Earth will all come. Is this the truth? Does this mean that humans are here to change it all? We are here to make something great. Humans are more than destined. Higher beings are here to help us to make this work. Power can come to the surface when humans are all aligned and their hearts are aligned. We must connect for new. For what cannot be seen is what you must believe. What they don't want you to know is that this takes power for you. If the world can or has new power, is it because they took that change? Is change scary for all? From ancient texts to new ones, is it always in line? Can there ever be a lie? All can only do so much to help for new humans or connections. Where do we go from this change if we cannot change all? We have gone through many points with hearts, minds, body, and soul, what this all truly means, and there are new levels to this goal. What can happen? What they don't want you to know is that there is a new role to make this goal. How can we make this big of a journey with everything to make those connections here to stay? With every great power, what change must follow? What do we do to make sure there is light with what we are to find? How can we change those points? There are so many steps that follow a path to lead into what this has come to show for those new human power. Our job is to make this work. But what's the biggest secret they are keeping from you? Now that we understand that aligning with Earth's blueprint involves reclaiming our creator roles, what specific steps can we take in our daily lives to embody this potential and manifest a positive timeline, effectively rewriting our reality? What they don't want you to know is that this shift hinges on conscious action, on the deliberate application of our innate power. Intention setting, conscious creation through focused thought and emotion, and actions aligned with our highest values, these are the keys. The Annunaki knew this, and that's why they sought to control our very thoughts. Every day is a constant act of creation, either consciously or unconsciously shaping the timeline. But can our everyday choices truly matter in the face of such cosmic forces? Prepare yourself, for we are about to explore practical techniques and lifestyle choices that could alter everything. Consider the evidence of the power of intention. Studies from the Institute of Noetic Sciences have demonstrated mind-matter interaction, revealing that our thoughts and emotions can directly influence the physical world. What they don't want you to know is that this isn't just theory. It's demonstrable reality. We can consciously create through techniques like visualization, affirmations, and vision boarding. Visualization involves creating a mental image of the desired outcome, imbuing it with emotion, and holding that image in your mind. Affirmations are positive statements that reinforce the desired outcome, reprogramming our subconscious beliefs. Vision boarding is a visual representation of our goals, serving as a constant reminder of what we are working towards. But how do these practices tap into something deeper, something ancient? According to Thoth, higher powers reside in ancient areas with specific frequency codes to unlock the ley lines of the earth. Accessing these ley lines, these energetic pathways of our planet, requires more than just mental exercises. It requires a specific connection to the earth itself. As Thoth was saying, the ancient sites are not merely monuments of the past, but active portals, resonating with frequencies that can unlock human potential. These sites, often hidden from plain view, connect with our minds, enhancing our ability to manifest our intentions. He went on to say that one secret location, veiled in secrecy for millennia, holds the key to amplified consciousness. But what if this sounds too simplistic? The significance of intention setting and conscious creation lies in becoming active participants in our lives, rather than passive recipients. What they don't want you to know is that we've always been active. It was just hidden. These practices shift our focus to positive possibilities, disrupting negative thought patterns that perpetuate unwanted realities. However, these practices may seem too simple to enact such profound change. Remember, consistent application is the key. Just as a small stream can carve a canyon over time, consistent intention can reshape our reality. But it requires discipline and self-awareness, a constant monitoring of our thoughts and emotions. Acknowledging that many must still come to see the same vision, each individual has the power to control their own internal world. But how does this translate to shaping the larger timeline? The Annunaki tried to control our intentions, but where do we take these powers ourselves? What they don't want you to know is that it's time to make these powers ours. We must be ready, but what does destiny actually mean? Are timelines real, or are they merely constructs of our minds? The ancient texts speak of a world meant to change, a planet destined for greatness. What will our planet show when we align with this destiny? History reveals that our planet is destined to be amazing, a place of harmony with the earth and all living beings. Ancient civilizations, attuned to the rhythms of nature, understood this potential. What they don't want you to know is that they saw it, touched it, and knew it. Timelines connect to dimensions that are aligned for us, waiting to be accessed. But how do we connect to these timelines to prepare for this grand destiny? It requires a new humanity, a shift in power, and a transformation of hearts. Power cannot shift if hearts are not aligned. The ancient civilizations, with their pyramids and temples aligned to celestial events, saw this potential, this destiny that is meant for us. Enki was saying, the alignment of the stars mirrors the alignment of the heart, and in that harmony lies the key to unlocking the future. The change lies within each of us, in the power to make conscious choices, to align our hearts with the earth, and to manifest a positive timeline. What they don't want you to know is that we can choose this. The power is there for what we make and decide. What we shift is a gift, a responsibility, and a testament to our potential. But will we ever truly be meant to get to that space, to achieve that harmonious existence? It requires a pure heart, a commitment to the greater good, and a willingness to embrace our roles as creators. However, what if our hearts can truly align with all these amazing powers? But what can happen to us when we decide to make the wrong decision? Can it truly consume us with all of this work if we aren't ready? What they don't want you to know is that the dark and the light are always at war. Distractions await us, temptations that pull us away from our true purpose. But what specifically are we meant to change? What must come to pass? The world and planet have more to show us if we are willing to see. Our journey is coming to an end. New evidence from the great earth reveals a shift, a transformation that must follow, impacting everything here. What they don't want you to know is that this shift involves a reconnection with the planets. The planets need to come back online, aligning with the Earth in a cosmic dance of energy. Everything will have a higher meaning, revealing the true potential of humanity. The powers, when connected, reveal how high we can go. Ancient wisdom, preserved in sacred texts and hidden sites, is here for us to ensure that all of Earth shifts. Destiny calls for humanity, a change is coming, and our shift is here for that next change. With these steps, we must know what's to come, approaching this transformation with love and understanding. But are we ready for this shift that we claim to desire? Is all of humanity in a space to wield something great, to create a positive future for all? Ancient wisdom holds the key to making this true for all, revealing great potential if we truly believe. Enki was saying, with these new beginnings, there has to be great shift for higher, and there has to be a great loss. Our planet is ready, but we might have to change it up with power for a new world and new change. However, are we prepared for the sacrifices that may be required? We have gone through many paths and levels to see what is our decision, and what's with the new world. The time has finally come to make this change. What they don't want you to know is that the decision is in your hands. We must connect our timelines with everything above so that we know this gift will come and it all will shift. Great responsibility has to make our path with so many others. We change now. That it was our time, that it's up to all of us. But what happens when the Annunaki return? As our exploration of the Annunaki and their potential return comes to a close, we find ourselves at a crossroads, a pivotal moment in the unfolding saga of humanity. Did you know that the convergence of ancient myth and modern understanding brings a new truth to light? While the Annunnaki's return has been a topic of myth and speculation, it is imperative that humanity unite, recognizing our shared origins and interconnected destiny, or are we doomed to be divided by these powers? Now, let us gather together what we have discovered. The Anunnaki came to Earth seeking resources, primarily gold, to save their dying planet. They genetically engineered humanity, creating a new species to serve their needs, a species that has now outgrown its creators. They manipulated timelines, attempting to control the course of human history, guiding us down paths that serve their agenda. Yet perhaps most importantly, humanity has the power to rewrite destiny, to reclaim our role as conscious co-creators of our reality. Now equipped with this knowledge, you can see reality for what it has always been. A tapestry woven with threads of ancient intervention, suppressed knowledge, and untapped human potential. With the understanding of timelines and dimensions, you become the new power to the world. Is this power for good or bad? What are you meant to do with all of this? But here is where our journey takes an unexpected turn. While we often think of the Anunnaki as external gods, what if their return is a mirror reflecting humanity's own untapped potential and internal power? What if the answers we seek lie not in the stars, but within ourselves? If the Anunnaki's return hinges on humanity's choices, are we ready to take responsibility for our destiny and wield the power to shape our world? Are we strong enough to shift this planet for greatness? Are we really ready for all of this? The saga of the Anunnaki serves as a reminder that our future is not predetermined, but is constantly being co-created by our thoughts, emotions, and actions. The decisions you make today shift the timelines of tomorrow, influencing the very fabric of reality. Each choice, each act of consciousness, ripples through the dimensions, shaping the world around us. What they don't want you to know is that we truly have the power to be as powerful as the Anunnaki or more. They just hoped we wouldn't find out. Are you going to keep their hopes up? What do you decide? The Anunnaki story, whether fact or fiction, reminds us of the universal struggle between control and freedom, ignorance and enlightenment, and the importance of choosing the path of love and unity. What they don't want you to know is that only we can make that change. The Annunaki narrative is a part of a larger exploration of humanity being capable of changing our current state, of rewriting our destiny and reclaiming our divine birthright. Only we can rise above the restrictions and realize our potential. By connecting it back to other points, timelines shift and dimensions can occur to those shifts for greatness, a greatness that has been waiting for us. What do you decide? As humanity stands on the cusp of a new era, the choices that we make in the coming years will determine the fate of our planet and the trajectory of our species, either leading to a golden age of co-creation or a dark age of control and division. They believe they have control over us, but they don't. We can change. We can do anything. Will we break free from the cycles of the past, or will we repeat the mistakes of the Annunaki, succumbing to the temptations of power and control? It is up to us to decide where we must take it, and it is up to us to believe we are ready for it. What we have will never leave, but what do we do? Despite the challenges and uncertainties that lie ahead, humanity has the power to create a brighter future, one where we transcend limitations, embrace our divine potential, and co-create a world of peace, harmony, and abundance. Did you know that it's already here? We just can't see it yet. Are you ready for it? The mysteries of the Annunaki, our origins, and the vastness of the cosmos fill us with a sense of awe, reminding us that the universe is far more complex and wondrous than we can possibly imagine. This reality can be applied to you as a being. Believe you are powerful, and you are. Enki was saying, with great power comes the choice to do good or bad, so I hope you choose what is right. If this video resonated with you, please like, share, and subscribe to Astral Legends for more content on ancient mysteries and the evolution of consciousness. May the information in this video inspire you to embrace your potential, live with intention, and become a conscious creator of your reality. Join us next time as we delve deeper into the secrets of ancient civilizations and the evolution of human potential and great power. May the eternal light forever guide your path as you go towards new decisions. End screen with Astral Legends logo, related images of ancient sites, and links to other videos. We began by asking about the past. Our goal now is to make the future ours. So let it be.